After Tectone was caught lying, he would respond in a classic manipulative manner. Quote, "You ever just lie to protect someone, but they make it so hard? Aw, he's lying to protect."
Again, it is every time he's doing this. Oh yeah, these people are lying, or these people are being terrible to me. It doesn't really say what they're doing here, but I'm lying just to try to protect them. I'm looking out for these people, and they're making it so hard on me. I'm such a victim of trying to help these people out who are treating me poorly. Every single time. I mean, it must have been exhausting to be in a relationship with this guy.
And it's going to be weird as shit. I'm not going to lie. It's going to keep being weird as shit. Okay?
How messed up that somebody would put you through that, Tectone. It is crazy how every single day of your life you're victimized. Really, what a sad, pathetic, wretched life that you have. Just always being made the victim. What a miserable existence. Oh my goodness. And his stupid, brainlet fans. Just another day, unfortunately. That's how often he does this sort of stuff, that his fans are just like, oh, must be a day that ends in Y. Techie's being a victim? He's being victimized? Somebody's treating him poorly? Must be a day that ends in Y.
Year after year, and everyone wants to pretend that I'm the bad guy.
Like, how? How do you watch this guy go through more than a single controversy and not think, wow, this guy kind of says even if he did anything bad, it's completely justifiable and understandable, and actually that same person or other people did way worse things to him every single time. And you don't think, hey, maybe this guy is manipulating me. Maybe this guy is lying to me. Nope, they go, we love you, Eggy. Stay strong.
After being embroiled in abuse and allegations for months, Tectone's own father turned out to be possibly the most infamous sex pest in U.S. military history. His father was such a that they literally had televised C-SPAN Congress hearings in an attempt to stop future assaults by using him as the example.
I rise again.
One of the most lopsided victories in all of Twitch. Why didn't you just pipe down about it, Tectone, right? Well, he claims that he never looked into any of this and didn't know the extent of it. But really, just keep your mouth shut on this when you got this going on in the background. It's so dumb. And then he cries about it. Then he literally cries about it. Like, hey, you know what, man? If you can't take the heat, stay out of the kitchen. I've only been made aware of Tectone fairly recently, but he has quickly, rapidly, in fact, moved to the top of the list of people I don't like, that I can't stand. Because every single time this guy gets a little pushback, gets a little criticism, gets in any sort of controversy, oh, what do you know? He's actually the biggest victim in the world. Yeah, you thought it was bad that he was parading around his habitually consent-violating dad on various streams and telling people like Emaru that, hey, my dad thinks you're really hot. My absolute creep of a father who likes to violate consent. He thinks you're really hot, Emaru. Isn't that fun? Isn't that a silly little detail for me to tell you? He's such a goof. And then, when Hassan gives him no option other than to address this, for some reason, we're crying about our childhood for half an hour. And wow, you guys think that was bad? Well, how bad do you think it was when my dad put a gun to my head over a soda pop can? Isn't that terrible? Isn't it so much worse for me? Shouldn't we not criticize me and just be so sad about all the things that happened in my pathetic, wretched life? And everybody in chat goes, oh, Techie, that's so messed up. That's so sad. We love you, Eggy. Stay strong. We're here for you. Team Eggy all the way. And then Tectone goes, and guys, don't forget, Hassan bad. And they all go, yeah, yes. Hassan bad. And flip on a dime. So I was very excited when I saw this hour-long video uploaded by Shamoo about the various foibles and follies of Tectone, because I didn't know about a good portion of this. Very nice to see it all laid out.
Hey guys, please hit like on the video as it helps the channel and the algorithm. If you want to support more content like this, you can do so at patreon.com/Shamoo411. If you have Cash App, you can donate at $Shamoo411. Also, channel memberships and super chats are enabled. Tectone, a streamer with close to 1 million subscribers on both YouTube and Twitch, has spent the past year embroiled in a assault scandal with his ex-girlfriend, and while facing these serious allegations, it was discovered that his father, who he had brought on streams and podcasts, was one of the most infamous in U.S. military history. The absurdity of the situation piqued my interest, and after putting together a timeline of events and testimony, what I found was a man willing to lie, deceive, and manipulate those around him. Sourcing court documents I found, I believe this video will offer an exclusive look into what has really been going on with Tectone, and it is not good. Is he guilty? Well, by the end of the video, you will at least have some clarity as to how we got here, but you know what they say, like father, like son.
I don't know what happens, bro. Just bad follows me like the plague. You take my trash out?
Yes.
And why are you doing that?
Because Tectone is the breadwinner. He makes the money.
No, it's because you're a...
Responsible human being.
That's like saying you're gonna make but not have the money shot. It ain't if there ain't a money shot. She looks real submissive and looks like, in the words of Halsey, I can take a pounding.
She was going to do something much worse, so bad it would have ruined all of our lives. I'm not going to say what it was that she was doing, but it was so horrific it would have ruined all of our lives.
Oh, girls don't like crazy guys.
They like abusive guys.
Well, here's...
It will never not be the hottest thing ever when...
Utterly bizarre to me how many male Twitch streamers have dressed up in the French maid outfit. Completely bizarre to me. It's same thing as Dr. Disrespect. Why are you playing dress up for your viewers? That is so bizarre and pornographic to me. That, oh, let me get in my special little outfit for my special boys so they can all watch me. So bizarre.
A thick female has a in their mouth. Am I gonna get canceled?
Oh, I interrupted him a little bit. Rewind so you get all of that.
When a thick female has a in their mouth. Am I gonna get canceled over this? No. You wanna know why? Because I don't have secrets.
Tectone as a streamer is best known for playing and promoting gacha games like Genshin Impact, which from what I can tell is essentially like gambling for children, as these sorts of companies generate revenue from users gambling on pulls to get an endless supply of sought-after characters and items.
I don't remember who was it. Papa Gut? I think so, because it was a very stupid point. So I'm just gonna say it was Papa Gut that brought it up. He's like, I don't want to hear any criticism of gacha games unless you're criticizing Pokemon cards. And I can see the parallel that you're drawing, right? I'm not gonna say there's no point, there's no comparison, but buying a pack of Pokemon cards is not as psychologically tuned to be addicting to children. There's not all the bright lights and all these other incentive structures behind it. Like, yeah, I'm not saying you have no point when is there sort of a little bit of a gambling aspect to Pokemon cards. It's not the same as loot crates or gacha games.
Revenue from users gambling on pulls to get an endless supply of sought-after characters and items.
We get a new 5-star. We gonna get it 100%. You wanna know why? Because I'm supposed to. Because I'm supposed to. And you wanna know how I know? Because chat, right now, if you follow my stream and you're new here, you get 3 free pulls in Honkai Star Rail. That's the crazy thing. Here we go. We have 8 more to go, baby. 2. Ah, here we go! Here we go! Here we go! Please! Please, Clara! Clara, Braun, you out! Clara, Braun, you out! Clara, Braun, you out! Please! Please! Let's go! Oh my God!
So I just have to assume his fan base is like, what, 12 years old? That's like what they like to watch? Some 40-year-old man absolutely lose his mind and scream over unlocking a girl character in a video game. I don't know if it was the character or the outfit or what even. You really want to watch that? Some adult man fall on the floor because he's so excited that he unlocked certain pixels.
God! Oh, God! We did it, dude! My #1 most wanted unit! Kidding you? I almost passed out on the ground. I'm not kidding you. I almost passed out on the ground. My blood pressure was so high. I swear on my life. I pinky promise. I was about to pass out. This feeling, free to play Bronya.
Even Tectone, the one promoting these games, doesn't seem to be immune from spending large sums of money on exploitative Chinese crap. Yes, my 2 favorite Chinese imports, Genshin Impact and fentanyl. We love China.
Higher.
350?
Higher.
400.
Higher.
500?
A little bit higher.
Wait,
550.
on just Genshin?
Yeah, I spent $500,000 on Genshin Impact.
wasn't he just shouting about free-to-play character? So is that before he had spent any money, and after that point he spent $500,000? Whereas I feel like it doesn't really count as getting the character free-to-play, even if you didn't pay money for that specific unboxing or whatever it's called.
Tectone joined OTK, or the One True King streaming organization, on November 21st, 2021, with streamers such as Osmongold, Mizkif, and later Emiru. Interestingly, OTK has had several different scandals in the same realm as Tectone's. One of the co-owners was accused of SA, and the other co-owner, Mizkif, was accused of covering up an assault. Tectone is also one of the biggest Osmongold worshippers online. He basically thinks the guy walks on water anytime he comes up.
The reason why I started being a streamer was because of Asmon. Asmon has been and always will be my favorite streamer. The dude's funny, the guy's charismatic, and he made me feel better about my life.
Tectone would eventually host the Steak and Eggs podcast.
Made you feel better about your life? Is that supposed to be like a diss towards him? Because that's the sort of thing I see people say in the comment section of Caleb Hammer's financial audit videos, where he spends an hour berating some idiot who can't balance a budget. And then people are like, oh, sometimes I feel like I'm doing bad with my finances, but then I watch one of Caleb's videos and I feel better about myself. Is that what he's saying there?
And he made me feel better about my life.
Tectone would eventually host the Steak and Eggs podcast with Osmongold and Emiru. Before we can get to the absurdities of epigenetic, we need to go back to August of 2022, when Tectone's then wife, Freem, left him.
You've been losing weight. Do I look different than when I first started Camp Canoe?
Yeah.
Because I'm bald?
Because your face.
Abusive relationship.
That's why I'm leaving.
Okay, I don't like this joke anymore. I don't like this joke. Frick.
It was funny when I had said anything, but as soon as you said one thing back, not funny anymore.
I'll give you a hug.
From the body language of Freem, it really looks like she does not want him hugging her.
Thank you for helping me today. I appreciate that. Have a hug back. The pound in the back feels very father-son-ish. Thank you.
Earlier, Tectone would explain to his stream that he had been hurting his wife for a very long time, with pretty poor explanations, all while Freem was packing her things to leave him.
I want to get this announcement out of the way beforehand. I've heard that I have been hurting someone. I've been hurting someone that I care a lot about. Sometimes, chat, caring too much is not good. It's really not. Sometimes.
Oh. See, you might have thought I did a bad thing there, but it's only because I cared too much, all right? I loved too hard. Really? That's what we're going with. Way to just actually accept zero accountability. Guys, I know I messed up, but I'm just such a lovable idiot, aren't I?
You can mean well, but still cause, I guess, overbearingness to the people who you care about. Because we've been together since we were so young, we formed a very bad codependency for one another. Sometimes when Freem isn't in the house, I can't function as a human being at all. I just can't do it, because it got to a point where I didn't really know the difference of who I was and who Freem was. And when Freem wasn't around me, I didn't feel like a complete human being. And during that process, I hurt my wife because she was overworked, and y'all know that. It's even a meme. It's even a meme. Me yelling Freem. Freem! Sprinting over here. And so I've been hurting Freem for a very long time. I stopped seeing her as a different person. I saw her as myself. And I asked,
Why do people, first of all, why do they put so much of their relationships online? I don't understand that. I get it, like she's walking past in the background or whatever, and you acknowledge her. But she's like a character on your stream. And then you're talking about, yeah, this person, I require this person to just be a functioning adult. Really? You're just openly telling people that on your own, you can't function as an adult. Okay. I mean, if you want to just admit to everybody you're a loser, you're allowed to do it. I don't understand why you would, but you are allowed to do that.
I asked her to do too much. I asked her to help me too much. And Freem was also hurting me in a way where...
Oh, and there you go. Yeah, guys, I might have done something bad, but the only reason I did that is because I loved too hard. And also, I'm a victim of them, too. Exactly what I was talking about at the beginning. Yeah, you guys might have thought you had me. You might have thought you had a criticism of me. But really, the criticism of me is just because we're all flawed humans, and I messed up in a very understandable way. Plus, they did something to me, too.
Helped me too much. And Frame was also hurting me in a way where she wouldn't communicate with me because she was afraid due to her past relationships. But what I realized is a little bit too late, is that Frame is not me. And just because I'm okay with creating content 24/7 does not mean that my wife would be okay with that. I thought you were getting divorced? Same.
They would divorce only 4 months later. Freem filed for it, and Tectone would start a relationship with Twitch streamer and OnlyFans model Pinkchyu.
But yeah, Ping is one of the best people I've ever met. She's never done anything wrong. A amazing human being.
People would continue to question if Tectone was abusive and what was really going on when clips started to resurface online.
How do I deal with him? I love him.
Don't touch me.
I'm patient.
No, you're not. You're like the most impatient, moody I've ever met.
Patient when it comes to you.
Freem, I carry our marriage, and you know that. Freem, you know that.
I think we have a pretty 50-50 marriage.
You're high.
Tectone gives the game away in the
I've heard people say, oh, he's obviously doing a bit there. Doesn't seem like it, especially with how sincere her responses are. He's like, I carry this relationship. I don't know. I think it's pretty 50-50. Yeah, right. What a joke. Doesn't seem like he's joshing around there to me. Don't touch me.
I'm patient.
No, you're not. You're like the most impatient, moody I've ever met.
Patient when it comes to you.
Freem, I carry our marriage, and you know that. Freem, you know that.
I think we have a pretty 50-50 marriage.
You're...
Yeah, that's way too genuine of a response. Even if he thinks he's joking, does not seem like she does, and I don't think that he's joking.
Hi.
Tectone gives the game away in this clip for being a wholly unlikable tool and a What's more shocking, though, is that he has the lack of self-awareness to do this with his then wife on a live stream.
You're high. I'm not saying you don't help, but you think it's 50-50? Explain.
I mean, okay.
I would unironically...
Oh, well, that was nice of him to walk back. Look, I'm not saying you do 0% of the lifting, but it's definitely not 50-50. Am I right?
I'm not saying you don't help, but you think it's 50-50? Explain.
I mean, okay.
I would unironically say I'm probably one of the best husbands on planet Earth.
You're a very good husband.
No. I wouldn't say very good. I would say one of the best.
I'm just saying, like, you carry in social aspects, I carry in the back-end tech stuff. And I feel like together, we make a good team.
But marriage, dude, I am the conflict resolution god.
Yeah, you are.
100%.
No, 100% you are.
I am the greatest shoulder to cry on. I am the greatest consoler. I'm understanding everything, the romantic...
I can't think of a shoulder I'd want to cry on less than Tectone's shoulder. Really. What a dire situation to be in where you have to go to that guy for consolation. That's rough.
I am the greatest consoler. I'm understanding everything.
Unless, maybe he means he's very good at playing console video games. That could be true. I'm not too up to date on his gaming skills. So perhaps that's what he means. I don't think so.
I am the greatest consoler. I'm understanding everything. The romantic shit I do is crazy. Like, why are you giggling? Freem, you know beyond a shadow that I'm an incredible husband.
I never said that you weren't.
But you never said that I...
It's hard to take it seriously when somebody just goes on and on and on about how utterly fantastic they are and how they're literally one of the best husbands in the world. Pretty hard to take that seriously.
Was.
Okay, you are an incredible husband.
How accommodating I've been is insane.
He's really channeling that inner narcissistic sassy gay man to tell his then wife that she isn't worth anything and he's the best guy ever.
How accommodating I've been is insane. Why are you not saying anything?
I'm saying, Yes, I agree. Of course.
So for like marriages and emotions and understanding and communication, I would say I do about 90% of that.
Yes.
Okay, there we go. The majority of marriage is communication.
That was enough for him. The least convincing yes ever. So look, all I'm saying is I bring 90% of the value to this relationship. And look, 10%, that's solid. That's pretty good for you, all right? Most of the women I date are lucky to bring 5% of the value to the relationship. So I do 90%, right? She's like, yeah, can we move on now, please? Like, no, I'm not done talking about how fantastic I am.
Yes. I give you your space, you give me my space. We mutually love each other. We mutually are happy with each other. We're still each other's best friends, I hope, right?
That's a lot of assuming happening right now.
Come on. Oh, shit.
It's a lot of assuming.
When this car clip resurfaced online, Tectone went to sweep it up directly. But specifically what I find interesting is he says, quote, "We pretty much had to get a divorce to save our friendship, which worked, and was definitely for the better. You may not realize it yet, but this is just an outright manipulative lie by Tectone, something I will explain in more depth shortly." Tectone would further present this narrative that everything was all good on stream.
Also, you gotta understand, like, Frame doesn't like when people paint me as a fucking villain, right? Because it kind of just, like, decredits our entire fucking marriage, right? Like, a couple of bad moments doesn't ruin 10 fucking years, you know what I mean?
I mean, you kind of discredited your marriage by saying you did 90% of it, right? Not much of a union there.
I just really want Frame to be able to get out of the public eye. That's all I want. Oh, and please, God, nobody clip this, please. It's just very hard for me to talk about Frame because she was my wife.
So obnoxious. Guys, please, nobody clip this. Don't clip this publicly available content that if I didn't want clipped, I could just not make public. So performative.
Life for a very long time, and I don't like remembering how ugly the end of our marriage got. My life's going in a great direction, and that's the only reason why it hurts. That's the only reason why it's scary. Am I gonna get canceled over this? No. You wanna know why? Because I don't have secrets. The last 2 years were really rough. It was really rough. Now the shit that I would do with Frame, the icky shit I would do with Frame, that wasn't good, right? I'm probably gonna delete this VOD after this stream. But holy dude, my friends can't even react to me without it being a hate thread. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Don't you feel so bad for this poor little victim? It's so messed up that people critique the public figure, the person who puts themselves out there under no obligation to do so, and then people respond to that? Wow, let's cry about this travesty.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Sorry.
After a back and forth on Twitter about Frame being free from Tectone occurred,
I'm free. Assuming then Tectone says thank you. And this was a post about my donathon being over. I've been free of you for months. He just completely assumed that that was about him.
Sorry.
After a back and forth on Twitter about Frame being free from Tectone occurred, Frame would clarify the situation with, quote, "Since some think this is playful banter, it's not. We are not on good terms, by the way. But this is between me, him, and our lawyers. Sorry for not wanting to talk about my personal life online. Some things just shouldn't be used for content." Discord DMs were sent to Tectone and Pink of Frame posting screenshots of a bra being purchased on Amazon from Tectone's account well prior to his divorce, and then Pinkchyu wearing it at a later date. Frame also still had access to the security cameras and posted pictures of Pinkchyu coming in and out of Tectone.
Okay. So that seems pretty blatantly he was cheating, right? Maybe he wasn't physically cheating quite yet at that point, but he was having an emotional affair. Maybe they considered themselves separated. I don't know. But that seems pretty scummy.
It at a later date. Frame also still had access to the security cameras and posted pictures of Pinkchyu coming in and out of Tectone's house. This was on a date where Frame was supposed to be with Tectone for Christmas. Because of these new posts, Tectone and his new girlfriend would strike back at Freem viciously. Before we get into the nuclear response Pink and Tectone made, I want to jump ahead and let everyone know that Pink has since stated that she was used as a pawn by Tectone to attack his ex-wife, Freem, that he convinced her and told her to do everything that's about to happen. Regardless of the merit of these claims, you cannot convince me that Tectone was not aware of what his current girlfriend was about to levy at his ex-wife. Keep this in mind for what's about to come next. Tectone's current girlfriend, Pink, would post the Discord DMs of Freem and respond with, quote, "This woman is a criminal and has caused me so much anxiety and distress the last year, I needed to take a break. She spied on me with cameras, even private moments, and shared it with my colleagues and friends illegally. Without knowing her, she spread rumors about me, tried to ruin my career and friendships. I didn't go to the police in fear of what she would do because she is completely obsessed with me and is unhinged." Freem would respond,
Oh, pretty spectacular claims. Surely we're gonna have some spectacular evidence to go along with that, right?
in fear of what she would do because she is completely obsessed with me and is unhinged. Freem would respond to Pink with, quote, "Have your lawyers reach out to mine." Tex had their info for months. Pink would then start a live stream attacking Freem and announcing she had gone to the police to press charges on Freem for revenge. What you're about to see was all planned, and Tectone would actually raid Pink's stream prior to her starting.
Tectone's ex-wife has been stalking and harassing me and Tectone for over a year now. She has not left us alone. She has stalked bank statements, internet history, was spying on me when I came to visit Techie because I guess she originally was spying on Techie, and spread revenge of footage that is considered revenge to people from the cameras as well. I have gone to the police. Here is a police report. I try to clear up as much as I can. I have a police report. The cops are doing their thing. I'm not going to get into the specifics about the revenge. And yes, her spreading revenge is sexual harassment if she doesn't want to believe it. I thought she was going to make the video that she took of me public. So I called her out. That was the first thing because I was scared she was going to start a public narrative against me. She has ruined Tectone's image.
Are you starting to notice some things? Pink later said that there was no revenge. So who was telling her that there was? She also tries to run narrative for Tectone. She even brings up the divorce court papers, which I would presume came from him.
The reason why on Christmas, Tectone can't...
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he raids into this, pretty obvious. This was a coordinated thing at the time.
...canceled plans with Freem is because I was a new friend to Tectone. Tectone had talked to me about the mental abuse he went through with her. He confided in me.
Wait, Tectone told you about what a victim he was? Wow, that's very out of character for him. He never does that.
About the mental abuse he went through with her. He confided in me all the abuse he was dealing with, the cheating, and how hurt he was. And I told him, I don't feel comfortable meeting her. I don't want to know this person. I feel very uncomfortable. I think you should maybe take a step back and maybe get some help and think about, what has happened, because I felt bad. Like, he still had empathy for her, even after getting cheated on, even after a lot of stuff she did to him.
So he built up Freem as such a scary, evil person that Pinkchyu was genuinely afraid to meet her. But then also, he's acting like, oh, but I still have a lot of empathy for her. I still feel bad for her. I still want the best for her. Again, he's the victim, and his heart is overflowing with love, and he's such a good person. Really messed up that such a perfect, wonderful person would be victimized so often. Always happens to the best ones, huh?
Remember that the ex-wife Freem has said virtually nothing in this publicly, and the things being shown are DMs that somebody else leaked to Pink and Tectone. All of a sudden now Freem is an abuser and a revenge.
Let me also just remind people I've never met Freem. I've never met her once in my life. I hope I never have to, okay? And that's why it's scary, because it's like this scary unknown, and I have to just deal with it. And I'm not going to deal with it. I'm not going to sit around and just let somebody try to destroy my life. She was going to do something much worse, so bad it would have ruined all of our lives. I'm not going to say what it was that she was doing, but it was so horrific it would have ruined all of our lives.
And the reason why Tectone went nuclear? Because his ex-wife Freem was about to make her alleged and abuse she went through from her husband Tectone public. Tectone has denied this for years, that this was even happening, by the way. But what people aren't aware of is that legal documentation between Pink and Freem clearly states, quote, "The dispute between Freem and Tectone relates to a serious and false allegation against Tectone. During that call, Tectone and Pinkchyu learned that Freem had a Google Doc, and she was planning to release it to the public." We'll get into further detail later, but it's...
Wait, what did that say about soda pop in there? During that call, Tectone and Pinkchyu learned that Freem had a Google Doc that she was planning to release to the public. The Google Doc claims that multiple people, Bay, Kyuko, and Chance Soda Poppin' Morris, were aware of the alleged conduct that Freem was planning to release it unless Tectone and his attorneys acquiesced to Freem's demands. Okay, that wasn't that interesting. I'm pretty sure. Oh no, it's NM that lived for free in Soda Poppin's house. Okay, I thought that was gonna be more interesting.
Freem had a Google Doc, and she was planning to release it to the public. We'll get into further detail later, but it's important to realize that the attacks Pink made prior is a direct response to Tectone finding out through Pink that Freem was going to go.
Okay, wait, what's going on here? Someone in the chat is saying, shirt looks fine to me, Chu. He's bugging. Is Tectone negging Pinkchyu about her shirt being awful there or something? Or is he calling her a whore for showing cleave? I wouldn't put it past them.
The attacks Pink made prior is a direct response to Tectone finding out through Pink that Freem was going to go public with the alleged abuse she went through with Tectone. I reached out to Tectone to get his side of the story in any context I could. At first he said he was happy to answer any questions until he realized how meticulously I had gone through everything. I asked him what the allegations were that Pink mentioned were going to ruin all of their lives, not letting him know I already had the court documents proving what they were. And he lied to me. He said, quote, "No allegations were going to be made against me. This was between her and another woman." Provably a lie.
It was so horrific, it would have ruined all of our lives.
Freem would respond to all this with, "I'm well aware of the many lies that continue to be said about me, my relationships, and my alleged actions. As social media isn't the appropriate forum to address legal matters, I'll just say that neither I nor my attorney has heard from anyone about actually resolving this matter. I won't be commenting on this further." Pink would even run cover for how Tectone treated his wife in the car clip from earlier, explaining, "Oh, you don't understand. Tectone realized that day that his wife of 10 years had been cheating on him."
Keep this in mind. This is the day he caught her and Cruz huddling on the couch and realized she was cheating on him with Cruz, his assistant.
Which is pretty crazy, considering only 5 months later, Pink would announce that Tectone had been cheating on her.
Weird question time. Has anyone ever been cheated?
So again, oh. Did you think maybe Tectone had done something bad? Maybe he had cheated there? Well, actually, he was cheated on by them. Again, every single time with this guy.
On? How do you react to something like that, by the way? Like, is it weird? Like, I know some people are like, oh, you'll crash out or something when you learn about that, like you got cheated on. But is it weird that for me, like, I just like, oh my God, I don't have to deal with this piece of shit anymore.
Tectone, as you will see throughout, would lie to his audience in a pre-planned narrative spinning in an attempt to dissuade accusations of cheating against him.
When did you and Pink break up? Me and Pink broke up like mid-June. Do y'all need proof of that or no? Are we gonna take my word for that? Do we need proof? I'm gonna do it anyways. I feel like it's important. Just because I
mean, that really seems super pre-planned, but he's trying to make it seem like it's a natural thing. Like, pretty sure from the beginning, he planned to show this proof to everybody so that he could set the narrative on the timeline here. But he brings it up in a way as if it was very, spur of the moment, natural things. Like, yeah, it happened at this time. Do you guys need proof for that? Probably. Well, what the heck? I'll show it to you anyway. Let me spontaneously pull that up in this definitely not pre-planned bit.
Pink broke up like mid-June. Do y'all need proof of that or no? Are we gonna take my word for that? Do we need proof? I'm gonna do it anyways. I feel like it's important. Just because I don't want.
And everybody in the chat was saying, nah, we're good.
For that. Do we need proof? I'm gonna do it anyways.
No, nah, you good, nah, good. No proof, big man. Taking your word for it, no. You were in a relation? Nah. Too parasocial, I'm good. And then he shows it anyway.
I feel like it's important. Just because I don't want anybody to doubt what I'm saying, and I know it's a pretty serious topic people really like talking about. Yeah, once again, I want to make it very clear. No ill will towards her whatsoever as of right now. I don't really care. I mean, it was made public against my will, but I don't care. But yeah, I have a message that I sent to Jimmy on June 28th where Pink and I broke up. But yeah, it was good. Nothing bad.
What exactly say there? All good. If I wanted to come over, could I or nah? I won't bug ya. Always welcome. Pink and I broke up, keep secret, and I'm okay. Ah, balls. Okay, definitely come by tonight. You gonna swing through, or are you good? So did he even actually end up going by? Or was this that much of a cover-up that he's like, oh, I'm just gonna ask if I can come over, so I have reason to say that, oh, this is when we broke up. And I can show that later, and then doesn't even go over there. He doesn't even reply to it, right? It looks like, yeah, there's a new day, Friday, June 28th. And the guy he was asking if he could come over follows up.
June 28th, where Pink and I broke up. But yeah, it was good. Nothing bad.
Tectone for real just pulled up DMs of his modding him and just had this pre-planned so that people wouldn't think he was cheating. Pink would respond posting receipts of the real breakup that was in July. Please stop talking about me on stream. Stop lying. I broke up with you because I suspected you cheating on me. Stop taking pot shots at me on stream. You know the next day we got back together, I broke up with you on July 23rd. Didn't want to be your friend with benefits on July 26th. You wouldn't even let me ride in the car with you and Sophia, and I was outside the house drunk and alone. I'm not stupid, and I suspect cheating. Just stop. It wasn't good. It was a lot of bad. Pink attached text messages to the tweet of her breaking up with Tectone, where she specifically says twice that she was scared of him.
And then
Can I come get ready for bed? Sure. I really think we're better off as friends. I think a lot of what you're going through is affecting me emotionally and really negatively. I hope you can get some help, and I'll be here for you. But this is just not good for me while I'm trying to get help, and I don't think I should be scared of the person I'm dating. It's not your fault. I just have a lot of anxiety when I don't understand. Not sure what that says after that, but, and again, if you can delete any sensual things you have of me, I would appreciate it. I wasn't mad earlier, by the way. I was scared, and I realized I shouldn't be scared of the person I'm supposed to love. But I think, as friends, it'll be better. Thank you for understanding. When you say scared, like, what do you mean? What you think I'ma do? So, oddly casual way to respond to your partner saying I'm kind of scared of you. Like, oh, scared? What you think I'ma do? Really? Okay.
Tweet of her breaking up with Tectone, where she specifically says twice that she was scared of him.
and then she went after his wife, and there was a whole controversy over that. She basically
This Plazookas guy, I think he has like a couple thousand subs, maybe 3,000 or so. I could be a little bit off on that. But Tectone goes in this guy's comments. He's that pressed that some guy with 3,000 subs or whatever it is talking crap about him, that he feels the need to go in there and set the record straight. I also saw him on this channel, Straight, who's got like the SpongeBob newsman fish as his avatar. Not exactly that, but that same style of avatar. And he does a video about Tectone, and Tectone goes into the comments and he sees, oh, a lot of the people here are kind of defending me. It was about when Hassan made a big deal about who Tectone's dad is. And people in the comments were mostly saying, okay, he's his own man. What's this have to do with him? What's his dad have to do with what Tectone's done? And Tectone goes in the comments there and he goes, oh, this is the highest IQ comment section I've ever seen. Glad you guys get it. It's like, okay, yep, people agree with you. So that means they're high IQ.
he went after his wife.
They don't think it's weird that you chose not to look into your habitually consent violating father who supposedly pulled a gun on you over a soda pop can and was terribly emotionally abusive to you growing up, and you knew, went to jail and had to pay a fine. And the people, and then bring that person around streams and tell other female streamers that he thinks they're hot, and everybody else who doesn't think it's weird that you did that. Those are high IQ people.
Wife, and there was a whole controversy over that. She basically had protected him, defended him, and he used her constantly.
I wasn't sure.
After Tectone was caught lying, he would respond in a classic manipulative manner. Quote, you ever just lie to protect someone, but they make it so hard? Aw, he's lying to protect.
Again, it is every time he's doing this. Oh yeah, these people are lying. or these people are being terrible to me. It doesn't really say what they're doing here, but I'm lying just to try to protect them. I'm looking out for these people, and they're making it so hard on me. I'm such a victim of trying to help these people out who are treating me poorly. Every single time. I mean, it must have been exhausting to be in a relationship with this guy.
Manner. Quote, you ever just lie to protect someone, but they make it so hard? He's lying to protect Pink. Not because he was cheating and trying to assert a public narrative. To which Pink would respond by saying, he's not lying to protect me. He's lying because he doesn't want Sophia to know we were still together. I was told by someone else. He told her the same lie. We both know how you treated me and your ex-wife. You had her sign an NDA to keep her quiet about the abuse, and told me to specifically go over the car clip on stream, and lied to me and said it was the day you caught her cheating. But I found out later it was a lie.
Oh my god. So he specifically put her up to reacting to that on stream, and he gave her the narrative there that, oh yeah, this was the day I found out she was cheating. Obviously it's just her saying that, not necessarily proof, but from everything I've seen of this guy, I have zero problems believing that.
Over the car clip on stream and lied to me and said it was the day you caught her cheating. But I found out later it was a lie. Just like your many lies you used to manipulate me to make you look like the victim, when she was the victim all along. She didn't even know Cruz till a month later. As shown here, this is how he treated both of us. Our friends saw it, my family saw it, and I'm glad I'm out. Pink attached 2 plane tickets from June 2022 of Cruz flying to meet Tectone, who later dated Freem. This is important because it proves that Freem did not meet Cruz until well after the car clip of Tectone acting like an abusive towards Freem. It proves that Tectone lied to Pink and his audience about his behavior being because Freem cheated on him. He is a liar.
Keep it.
And so that actually proves that he knows his behavior there was terrible, and that he wasn't joking around or doing a bit or anything like that, because why would he need to justify it if it was a joke? If it wasn't all that serious, if it was just a bit. The only reason you would need to try to justify it like that is if you knew it was bad, because you were being a dick.
His audience about his behavior being because Freem cheated on him. He is a liar.
Keep it in mind, this is the day he caught her and Cruz cuddling on the couch and realized they were she was cheating on him with Cruz, his assistant.
You lie!
Tectone would go live the next day. Of course, not to address anything specific about him lying or the timeline of events. This is typically what he does, but to talk in vagaries and try to manipulate his audience.
And then one of that posse decides to go to the dark side because they're too dumb to realize how good they had it with the main group. People who know what I'm talking about know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, it's fine. It's all good. I'm not the person who keeps saying like, oh man, I'm gonna keep talking about it. Why are you talking about it? I'm gonna keep talking about it. And I'm letting you guys know, for all you guys who know what I'm talking about, just know that person is gonna keep talking about it till the end of time. So we'll probably be going over this about 80,000 more times. And it's gonna be weird as shit. And I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna keep being weird as shit. Okay?
How messed up that somebody would put you through that Tectone. It is crazy how every single day of your life you're victimized. Really, what a sad, pathetic, wretched life that you have. Just always being made the victim. What a miserable existence.
Times. And it's gonna be weird as shit. And I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna keep being weird as shit. Okay? It's gonna keep being weird as shit. It's gonna keep being weird as shit.
He's poisoning the well here, almost as if he knows something else is coming. Oh, it's gonna keep being weird, guys. I can't say the person's name or even talk about the specific allegations being made. It's just so weird.
And it's just gonna be over and over and over and over and over again. And
oh my goodness, stupid, brainlet fans. Just another day, unfortunately. That's how often he does this sort of stuff, that his fans are just like, oh, must be a day that ends in Y. Techie's being a victim, he's being victimized, somebody's treating him poorly. Must be a day that ends in Y.
And guys, I'm gonna let you guys know this. Here's the plot twist, guys. Here's the plot twist. I've done nothing wrong at all.
Oh my God. Genuinely, it is every single time. He does nothing wrong. And if he does, it's totally understandable. And the other person is doing something way worse to him. Every single time. How do people seriously watch this guy? They just never pick up on this, ever. They never see this pattern.
Okay. Interesting.
Yep.
It's like the people who keep watching Destiny. How many times do you need to see him violate somebody's consent? Right? It's actually a habit for him now. And 90% of his audience just sticks around like, oh, well, actually, Pixie might have shared a video with Destiny without consent. Which, no, she didn't. At least, I mean, I don't think you can 100% definitively prove that, but at least she says that she didn't. And the guy's never come out and said that the video was shared without consent. And Destiny has signed an affidavit saying that he did share the videos of Pixie without consent. His whole argument is just, it's a timing thing. I did it before the law was put in place, all right? And then his stupid fans act like, oh, well, if he wins the civil court case, then the narrative will change. Then people will start collaborating with Destiny again. Why? Even if Destiny wins the court case, which he might. I don't pretend to know anything about the legal system or laws or any of that. Even if he does win, he already admitted that he did the thing. He signed an affidavit under penalty of perjury and said, yes, I shared videos of Pixie without her consent.
And that's it.
Wow, what a shock. The guy who weaponized his now ex-girlfriend against his ex-wife with police charges, lies, and smears is now somehow totally innocent of any wrongdoing whatsoever.
If anybody asks, did Techie do anything weird? Did he do this thing? Did he do that thing? No.
It's funny that prior to any of the serious allegations becoming public, Tectone is already priming his audience, telling them, hey, if you hear anything weird about me, don't believe it.
I mean, these people, there's people that are out of control right now. And aren't I so kind by not even saying their name? Because I am trying so hard to keep things cordial, but holy, I am trying so hard to keep it cordial. I am trying so hard not even to bring up their name.
Right.
Like I had it removed from my chat.
He's just the best guy ever. He banned his ex's name in chat and refuses to say her name because he's a saint. It's not because he wants to respond to this in a totally disingenuous way.
Like, oh my God, it's off. Jesus, it's insane.
I might have been banned.
And the worst thing is I'm trying to protect this person, but they keep yapping.
Interesting.
And then this person knows my dad has cancer. Like, just off.
You guys have to understand, he's actually trying to protect his ex, and she's attacking him while his father has cancer. Just more manipulative bull.
And it's my reputation for years. The amount of people that have me, that I have in turn protected.
This is so weird.
And kept their darkest secret. And I've done such a good job of not saying any of the wrongdoings this person's done. And I don't plan to unless my hand is forced. But the problem is I worry about this person so much that if they become aware of their own actions, that they might hurt themselves. That shit makes me depressed.
He could prove that he wasn't lying, but you don't understand. He's actually saving Pink's life from not doing so because he's so empathetic. You can't see it right now, but he's actually on a cross dying for all of his ex's sin.
Because I'm trying to help somebody that clearly will not let me help them. I'm not going to hold back anymore. So off, or I am going to say what I need to say. And I'm going to say this very clear.
Yep.
I have never done anything that is cancelable.
Some excellent foreshadowing from Tectone. Currently, he's dealing.
And he sounds like DSP there. I did everything right. I did nothing wrong. Every step of the way, I was perfect. And even now, under all this pressure, this person continually being so bad to me, I'm still being perfect.
On anything that is cancelable.
Some excellent foreshadowing from Tectone. Currently, he's dealing with relationship drama. So why did it jump to being canceled?
I mean, Jesus Christ. It's just too much, man. It's like every day, all these can't keep my name out their mouth, and I do them a service of never even mentioning their name to not exacerbate the issue. But I swear to God, one of my closest friends coming out, they think that shit me? Hell no. Jesus, these people are so pathetic. I am going to move on. And the worst thing is, you swore you would never do this to me. Because I even told you when we started this that I'm horrified of another person who I tried to take care of trying to me again.
You can tell how freaked out he is, and this is prior to any of the serious accusations becoming public by Pink.
I've been seriously hurt by people that I trusted in the past. So I trust you And if you ever did anything to violate that trust, I would just be shattered. I would just be a shell of a human if you ever did that to me. This guy is utterly disgusting.
You can tell how freaked out he is, and this is prior to any of the serious accusations becoming public by Pink. He's directly referring to Freem screwing him over. He knows what's coming. And the crazy thing is, it's so vague that nobody in the public knew any of the accusations Freem made. So he's directly talking to Pink, preemptively months before Pink made any of the allegations public. And none of the people have context of what he's referring to until now.
Over and over and over again.
Yeah.
The people who I help the most always me over. And you know what's crazy? And you see the people in my chat, and you see him asking who, and guess what? I'm still not going to say it.
Can we imply?
Oh, such a saint every step of the way. Just an infallible guy. Everybody should look up to this Tectone freak.
Chat. And you see him asking who, and guess what? I'm still not going to say it.
Can we imply,
Because
though?
at least I have some courtesy. That's my problem, is that I'm too good of a guy. One day,
He actually just straight up says, my problem is that I'm too good of a guy. I mean, this guy goes to job interviews and says, my biggest flaw is that I'm too much of a perfectionist. How does this guy not make your skin crawl? How do you watch this guy and not feel like you're covered in bugs?
hey, I'll crash out, and I'll just post receipts of everything. Because here's the thing, guys, I don't do he said, she said. I keep receipts of everything.
It's important to remember that as this escalates throughout, Tectone threatens to leak things which he says will prove his innocence on several occasions, but he never does. He never posts anything. And things are about to get so much worse. On November 20th of 2024, Pink would post on Twitter, quote, "How are you supposed to feel if a guy is abusive and makes you cry, then shoves your head into his crotch and demands you suck him off, and his excuse is, emotion just turns me on when you cry. Or when you're asking that you don't..."
I don't know if it gets mentioned in this video. Heard rumor that Tectone does not like to engage amorously in any way other than to have his male appendage sucked. That's the only thing that he's into. Very bizarre, if that's true. Don't know what happened to him, who hurt him. That's all he can do. I mean, to me, if that was true, it seems like maybe he's not that straight. Which, nothing wrong with that. You don't have to be straight, Tectone. But weird that you would keep dating women in that case.
Him off, and his excuse is, emotion just turns me on when you cry. Or when you're asking that you don't feel comfortable doing something sexual and he records you and demands you stop making faces and pretend you like it. Quick pause, but in the text Pink put out months ago, she does ask him to delete any sexual videos that he has. You don't know if it's consensual, obviously, but felt it was worth pointing out. Or you say you don't want to do it anymore and he shoves your head down till you throw up. Guilt trips you into giving and says, "Do your job, you don't pay rent. I took you to a water park, so you owe me. And all you can do is sleep upstairs because you know what he's going."
Obviously, this is her just saying it, but I took you to a water park, so you owe me? What are they, in elementary school? How does that count for much of anything? I took you to a water park? Oh, wow, you paid the $7 entrance fee? Too generous.
Pay rent. I took you to a water park, so you owe me. And all you can do is sleep upstairs because you know what he's going to keep telling you to do. He doesn't touch you, doesn't have sex with you, just keeps you around as a machine and degrades you.
Now, me personally, I'm going to just keep it 100%. It will never not be the hottest thing ever when a thick female has a in their mouth. I will never need anything more than that. And it's just like, wow, bro, look at this human vacuum cleaner.
Makes you feel ugly. Don't wait.
I mean, he kind of says it there. All I need is my male appendage to get licked and sucked. That's more than enough for me. All right, you supposedly straight guy. Okay.
Wear baggy clothes, straighten your hair, at least wear eyeliner around the house. Your self-worth totally crushed. I hate that people warned me. I didn't listen because I was so manipulated. I hate that I was lied to when another girl who went through worse was trying to come forward. Remember the stream Pink did where she went totally nuclear on Tectone's ex-wife?
She was going to do something much worse, so bad it would have ruined all of our lives. I'm not going to say what it was that she was doing, but it was so horrific it would have ruined all of our lives.
Dream was originally going to go public with allegations.
I thought she was watching, or XQC was just sitting there, completely silent, doing his classic thing of offering zero commentary, but it was paused there.
It was so horrific, it would have ruined all of our lives.
Freem was originally going to go public with allegations of abuse against Tectone. This is why Tectone had Pink go nuclear on Freem and accuse her of revenge and file a police report. This would lead to lawsuits involving Freem and Pink. Many of the claims Tectone was making that Pink would parrot were determined to be false, and the case would be settled after the determination in Freem's favor. Now, another settlement outside of this lawsuit happened between Tectone and Freem, I believe in Freem's favor, and led to both Freem and Tech being placed under NDA. So Freem wasn't ever able to go public with her allegations against Tectone, but there
Look at that first thing they say. Believe from testimonies, but have no hard receipts. A payout settlement or something happened, though, after they accused Freem of revenge prawn, sued her, then lost. It was separate from Pink's suit, though.
placed under NDA. So Freem wasn't ever able to go.
On February 4th, 2024, Pinkchyu reached out to Kyuko because Kyuko had promised to issue a public apology to Pinkchyu. However, Kyuko explains that her understanding of the dispute between Freem and Tectone relates to a serious and false allegation against Tectone. After hearing about these serious and false allegations from Pinkchyu, Tectone freaked out in disbelief and called Kyuko to tell the truth surrounding the entire situation. During that call, Tectone and Pinkchyu learned that Freem had a Google Doc that she was planning to release to the public. Okay, we saw that earlier.
Public with her allegations against Tectone, but there will be more evidence shortly that they were very, very similar to Pink's. Me and her are good now, but I should have listened. When you're in it, you feel blind to reason. I see some comments that are worried. I just want to let you all know I am out and have been at my own place and am safe. Don't want to worry anyone. I've been taking it one day at a time since this.
Today,
I feel like it's worth saying this part. Should have just read the whole thing. I hate that people warned me. I didn't listen because I was so manipulated. I hate that I was lied to when another girl who went through worse was trying to come forward. So, really, I mean, we already knew that with her saying that Tectone told her, oh yeah, that car video is from the day I found out she was cheating on me.
And am safe. Don't want to worry anyone. I've been taking it one day at a time since this.
today, you are going to see me at my worst. Today, I feel like gonna be real. And I'm gonna address this right now because this is not content for me. I mainly just want my mods to hear this because I know a lot of my mods know about this. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. This ain't funny. This ain't cute. I can no longer help someone who is this stupid. I can no longer try to protect someone that is this stupid, who would betray me this much. And guys, I'm gonna keep this.
Oh my God, he can no longer be the saint of protection because he, again, has been so seriously betrayed. It's absurd the amount of times that this guy does this. Genuinely, any single time there's any level of controversy. Hey guys, I'm a victim. Just want to pop in and say I'm a victim. People are horrible to me. I have a sad, pathetic life. Everybody betrays me. Nothing ever goes my way. I'm just an utterly pathetic wretch who has no joy in life because everybody's out to get me.
Someone that is this stupid, who would betray me this much. And guys, I'm gonna keep this vague. I'm gonna keep this vague for a reason. Okay? So if you're confused, you're gonna stay confused. I know the person who needs to hear this is gonna hear this. And I mean this genuinely. I did everything for you. I helped you with everything. I fixed everything for you. I was there for you.
I mean, he genuinely sounds like DSP here. I did nothing wrong. I did everything right.
I did everything for you. I helped you with everything. I fixed everything for you. I was there for you like nobody else was there for you in your whole life. Your words, not mine. The fact that you're letting these people get into your ear, people, the same people who are talking behind my back illegally, by the way, the same people who placed me under an NDA where I cannot talk about them. I know they're talking to you right now behind the scenes and they're getting you to believe in bull, letting them get in your head and make you imagine problems that never happened.
This is such an insane explanation. His ex-wife manipulated her to create all of the things Pink talked about. Does that sound logical?
And it's insane how these things that have happened in your own mind, you are now coming at me, and this just isn't cute. So I am going to leave it at this. My lawyer is going to be contacting your lawyer, the same lawyer that I helped you get because you were scared. I'm not fucking around with this.
Yeah, Pink was scared of a woman that she self-admittedly had never even met or spoken to. Obviously, everything that she knew was coming from Tectone. Let's just look at a portion of the lawsuit Pink.
Yeah, it's like, how else is she becoming so terrified of this person that she's never met? Oh, maybe from her ex Tectone. That would make a lot of sense.
Obviously, everything that she knew was coming from Tectone. Let's just
And the fact that she was actually to the point where she said she was afraid of ever meeting Freem. You know how thick he was laying it on.
let's look at a portion of the lawsuit Pink filed against Freem, and you tell me. On August 18th, 2022, Tectone hosted a live stream where he went on a real-life adventure visiting several anime shops and attending an elaborate and expensive sushi dinner. On the same day, Freem was extremely jealous of Tectone's adventure and was pouting in her office. Noticing Freem, Kurzum suggested they go out on their own adventure. Freem was excited by the prospect of going on a date with her crush, Kurzum, and agreed. Freem decided to impress Kurzum and put on her hottest outfit, a 2002-era Kim Possible look with turtleneck and cargo pants. She also made sure that her hair and makeup were perfect. Spance mentioned that Tectone was intimidating because Tectone was larger and louder than Spance, which was extremely rare. Unprovoked, Freem responded that Spance shouldn't be intimidated by Tectone because he has a micro. I just find it rich that after getting Pink involved in this, letting her pursue revenge charges, then attempting to sue Freem based on Tectone's testimony of events, he takes absolutely no responsibility for any of this whatsoever. It makes me question just how culpable Tectone was after all the drastic measures Pink took against Freem, that they are now on good terms.
If you want to do this, then let's do.
Yes, I found the day they got sushi from. Oh, you found this clip of them eating sushi from the court docs. Okay, very important information. Also, the eating on stream thing. I don't understand it. The stream that he did, where he was crying about how terrible his childhood, he eats it into the mic, just chomp, 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 chomp. Absolutely disgusting. Don't know how you would do that unless you have zero respect for your audience. I don't know how you put up with it unless you have zero respect for yourself. Would you let somebody sit next to you at dinner just turn their head, put their mouth right up to your ear and chomp, 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 chomp in your ear? No. No, you would not. Because you would realize, oh, that's insanely disrespectful. But streamers do it and people let them get away with it for some reason. So, what? Most of these streamers, at most, stream 40 hours a week. You can't take a lunch break or just eat off stream, right? I mean, how hard is it to have that tiny bit of respect for your audience? And besides that, it's just weird. It's just weird to eat on stream. And I think it's a little too pornographic for me to be eaten on stream. Not sure why you're doing that. Like, there's a whole genre of mukbangs. Like, what? Are you really just that lonely? Is that what it is? I don't understand why you would want to watch somebody eat. Gross.
Pink took against Freem, that they are now on good terms.
The only way it makes sense if you have some sick, twisted interest in it.
Tectone was, after all the drastic measures Pink took against Freem, that they are now on good terms.
If you want to do this, then let's do this. But I can't sit here and hear your dumb schizo the out, which I thought you were medicated for. I guess not. Schizo the out repeatedly. So enjoy. My lawyer will be contacting your lawyer, and we're gonna shut this down right now. Because
I hope you get through this, Techie. We are here for you, Techie.
this is ridiculous. I tried to be cordial. I tried to be nice. I tried to be happy. I tried to help you, and that's the way that you're gonna repay me. Great. Check your phone messages. You'll be hearing from my lawyer very soon. I assist everybody that I know. The same people who I help the most end up me the hardest. And it happens year after year.
Again, he just loves these people too much, and every time they screw him over for it.
Year after year. And everyone wants to pretend that I'm the bad guy.
Like, how? How do you watch this guy go through more than a single controversy and not think, wow, this guy kind of says even if he did anything bad, it's completely justifiable and understandable, and actually that same person or other people did way worse things to him every single time. And you don't think, hey, maybe this guy is manipulating me. Maybe this guy is lying to me. Nope, they go, "We love you, Eggy. Stay strong."
I'm done being the good guy.
The next day, Tectone would post a response on Twitter as well, giving Pink 2 weeks to apologize and retract her statements, or he will pursue legal alternatives. He also proclaimed,
Jeez, very strongly stating that I am certain that when all the facts are laid out, my innocence will be unquestionable.
apologize and retract her statements, or he will pursue.
Oh, and would you look at that? As a victim of SA myself, I find it absolutely disgusting that someone would weaponize a lie on this scale. Huh, that's so crazy. Tectone, bringing up he's a victim here? Again? Never saw that coming.
Legal alternatives. He also proclaims that he was a victim of assault as well, which is not a good response to SA allegations. Can't be the abusive rape if I'm the
You triggered my card!
Next day, Kitnetic on Twitter makes this post, which I find pretty interesting. Quote, "It's pretty damning that two women I was very close to told me the exact same story about the same man without ever having spoken to one another, to the last detail, going back years before they ever even knew the other woman existed. The same gaslighting, narcissistic, manipulative cycle of abuse." Pink then hearts this tweet, which confirms that it has to do with her, and the other person was obviously Freem, who was going to come out with allegations before something happened and NDAs were signed, maybe a payout possibly. Tectone would also announce what he called his resignation with OTK. I personally think OTK were well aware of his ex-wife's allegations, so this would have been the second go-around with abuse allegations, except this time they became public. Tectone actually tries to pass off that his contract was up, and he chose not to renew.
Let me explain to you why I left OTK, why I resigned from OTK. The reason why I resigned from OTK, why I did not sorry, I'm very tired. Why I did not renew my contract with OTK that expired on November 1st, 2024. The original contract was 2 years with an additional option to extend by an additional year, thusly completing my 3 years in OTK. And the reason why I chose to not renew with OTK is because it gave me a weakness. And I realize I really don't like having weaknesses.
Yeah, sure. It was just a cosmic coincidence. It happened.
What do you mean? You love weaknesses. You love being able to claim victimhood. That's like your favorite thing, to have weaknesses.
Directly after Pink's allegations became public. Screw it. I'll count this one.
Are you calling me a liar?
You sit on a throne of lies.
Pressure would mount until Tectone decided to go live on the 24th and make the single worst response to allegations I have ever seen in my time online.
We're going to talk about everything. However, in regards to a specific situation, I am only going to give you the tip of the iceberg, because the rest I am going to hold until I need to say it.
Now would probably be a good time to talk about maybe a little bit more than 5% Tectone, actually provide receipts or talk about the situation more in depth, considering your last two girlfriends appear to be calling you a rape.
I want to let you...
This is around the time I became aware of Tectone and started covering him and stuff. Because when I saw this, it was absurd how terrible his response was. Especially considering Pinkchyu doesn't really offer any evidence. It's baffling how terrible his response is here.
You guys know one thing. I am not going to tell you a single lie this entire stream. At least I'm gonna try not to. And you know what's crazy? Oh, and guys, in case you don't know what the allegations are, let's just get them out of the way. I have been accused by my ex-girlfriend of being abusive, mentally abusive, and potential. I've been accused of all those things. And before, there's a guy in chat who's saying, again, this isn't an again thing. This is a one-time thing. There is no again.
That's a lie.
Liar.
He's a liar.
In my 30 years of being alive on this earth, there are two things that I've never done. I have never cheated. I have never placed anyone under an NDA.
Tectone unfortunately forgets to include the in the list of things he's never done. Keck.
I'm going to give you guys 5% of the proof and the evidence that I have in my favor. He doesn't touch you, doesn't have sex with you, and keeps you around as a blood machine and degrades you. First of all, I've never degraded you. I never have, never will. And the other reason is...
Like, who believes that? Seriously. Any couple that's been in a relationship for any period of time, even if they're like the model relationship. Some point in time along the way, you've both degraded each other. Like, really, show me a relationship that's gone on for any length of time where they have not both degraded each other at one point in time at least. That's not a thing. Yeah, actually, our entire relationship was just skipping through a field of flowers.
Is Pink, you understand why I would not have sex with you. As a victim of sexual assault and rape myself, I had trauma when it came to having sex. This is a known fact. I have told you this from day one. I've also said, if you can't handle it, it is what it is. I don't want to apologize for being raped and being scared.
So this isn't a big secret, but a context you should probably have is that this was the case for the majority of the 10 years with Freem and 2 with Pink, which corroborates Pink's allegations, the type of physical relationship that was had. Tectone attempts to offer this as an explanation, but it really just illustrates how disordered he is.
Now, I would like everybody to know, over the course.
Yeah, so he does pretty much just say, yeah, no, I don't want to engage amorously in any way. Just want you to slime all over my male appendage. All right, man. Feels like that's one of those things, if you want to pursue a relationship, you should realize you have to work on that. That's a pretty absurd expectation.
Just illustrates how disordered he is.
Now, I would like everybody to know, over the course of the past 4 months, I have since gotten over that.
Well, that's a bit convenient.
I'm understanding
Yeah, just a little bit convenient.
everything the romantic do is crazy.
The demon is a liar.
That's a good point. Yeah. Actually, he's the pinnacle of romance, but he only wants BJs and nothing else.
So, I would say, talking about things is good.
Tectone addresses Pink's post and provides only a single receipt, which in his mind is going to clear the entire debacle up. Must be pretty damning. Let's take a look.
Guilt trips you into giving jobs and says, do your job, you don't pay rent. I took you to a water park, so you owe me. Pink, you implied that I was paying you to suck my. That is not true. You know that's not true. What you would do is, you would go upstairs, you would record your OnlyFans, and then you would beg me to suck my dick. You say that I would say, do your job.
Oh, please, Tectone, pretty please. Can we do the one single act of amorous engagement that we ever do? I'm so excited and just dreaming over the thought of doing the one act you allow us to do. Please, in all your benevolence, won't you allow us to repeat the same thing where I service you? Okay. All right, bro. Sure.
Me to suck my dick. You say that I would say, do your job, you don't pay rent. This is factually untrue. Here is you paying rent, not one time, but multiple times. That is you paying rent. And now what you might be thinking is, oh, well, maybe those are just edited screenshots. Well, then if you're not happy with my word, allow me to show you your own. My trauma with Tectone. I have been Tectone's roommate for a year now, and I can say he is one of the most understanding, kindest persons I have ever met, and contrary to popular belief, I do pay rent, Lamau.
Total Tectone victory. He did it. She paid rent. She was lying, right? Only there's one big tech dope issue.
She never.
Remember, he said he's only going to give 5% of his defense. This is the one piece of evidence that he's going to give. Is that I never would have said you need to pull your weight because you don't pay rent. Why would I have ever said that when you pay rent?
Rent. She was lying, right? Only there's one big tech dope issue.
She never said that she never paid rent. She said that Tectone told her that since you don't pay rent, you have to pay me back in these other ways. And then we literally saw a video of him doing exactly
So it's
that.
fucking bullshit.
She never said that she never paid rent. She said that he said she never paid rent.
Is that the garbage has not been taken out in 7 days. It's Pink's responsibility. And the reality is that she's in my house role-playing as a goth Hooters orderer, waitress. And honestly, it's really annoying because the reality is she doesn't pay rent. The reality is she doesn't pay rent. She's not doing her responsibilities, and she needs to do.
Oh, hang on a minute,
garbage is
bro. Oh, dude.
His one piece of evidence, he directly contradicts it on his own stream. Why? Why would you believe anything this guy says? You have to be such an utter blockheaded dope to believe this guy's a decent guy.
He is, but that is very deceptive on his part.
It actually beggars belief. The only point Tectone makes to address and fight against these accusations, he just straight up lies about. As he clearly states there,
the reality is she doesn't pay rent.
This was one of the things I actually asked.
And just real quick, this dope that I brought up earlier, Papa Gut, he had really good response to this point in the video. I just thought it was worth showing in his reaction.
I don't know.
She was lying, right? Only there's one big tech dope issue.
She never said that she never paid rent. She said...
Sorry. Just vomited all over the screen once I saw the Giardia bandit over here. Or really the Giardia bandit assistant. The assistant to the Giardia bandit.
Literally at the sight of seeing denims. That's what he has to stop everything and say, oh, guys, denim's bad, right? Am I bad? Denim's bad. Hopefully we can get into a little bit of Hassan bad here, right? Or maybe Ethan, glorious leader, is perfect. Any of those he'd love to talk about. This guy has such a waste of commentary. And I saw on Queeman's stream tonight, he was covering this guy. It was very cathartic. I might steal that segment from him because Papa Gut needs to go. He needs to get off of YouTube.
I don't know. You're going to have a tough time with me giving a singular fuck about anything that this thing has to say credible. So I don't know. What do you want me to say? Oh,
wow. No, I'm just not even open to any piece of evidence from this person. Really? Okay. Oh, maybe wait 2 seconds and just watch the clip that she's going to show rather than say, oh my goodness, evil witch alert. Be careful, guys. Cover your ears. You don't want to hear anything she has to say. It's mind poison.
Thing has to say credible. So I don't know. What do you want me to say? Oh, hi, Chud.
Said that
His voice is annoying? True.
Rude. What the hell? Why are you just degrading Shamoo like that? That is messed up. I would never talk about anybody in a disparaging way like that.
Said that
His voice is annoying? True. That I can agree with.
Tectone told her that since you don't pay...
Maybe he's talking about Tectone. If he's talking about Tectone, I'll allow it. I'll make an exception for Tectone. But if he's talking about Shamoo, how rude. Rude and rude.
Rent, you have to pay me back in these other ways. And then we literally saw a video of him doing exactly that.
Fucking bullshit.
You watched him suck each other's penises? What? Wait, what?
Wait.
Too funny. So no. I thought he's making a joke there at first. But no, he actually confused himself. He's like, wait, you have a video of them sucking each other's appendages? No. Obviously, it's the one other thing that they were talking about there. The paying rent thing. What do you think she's saying?
You watched.
This is what happens when he sees Denim's face. Just all brain function ceases, and he has to focus solely on Denim's bad, Giardia, Denim's bad, witch alert.
Him suck each other's penises? What? Wait, what?
Ways told her
issue.
She never said that she never paid rent. She said that Tectone told her that since you don't pay rent, you have to pay me back in these other ways. And then we literally saw a video of him doing exactly that.
So it's fucking bullshit.
She never said that she never paid rent.
Are you saying you saw a video of her slurping on it? Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
nice. Tell the same exact joke again. That's too funny, bro.
You're saying you saw a video of her slurping on it? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, did they plan that? You don't pay any rent. You got to come over here and suck this micro penis. I don't know, man. What the fuck?
She said that he said she never paid rent.
Is that the garbage has not been taken out in 7 days. It's Pink's responsibility.
Damn, brother. I feel that. I feel that. I feel that. I've been with somebody who they didn't do anything. So maybe I'm going to be biased here. My balls are shitting. Holy fuck.
Maybe you're going to be biased here. You already demonstrated your brain shuts off when you see denims and you're not open to things that she says.
Thank you for the $2 from Angel. White woman jump scare. True.
And the reality is that she's in my house role-playing as a goth Hooters orderer, waitress. And honestly, it's really annoying.
You
The reality
say a goth Hooters orderer? Like Order 66? Dude, this is fucking oppressive.
is she doesn't pay rent. The reality is she doesn't pay rent. She's not doing her responsibilities, and she needs to do.
Oh, hang on a minute,
garbage is
bro. Dude, that is very deceptive on his part.
It actually beggars belief.
Wait, why? Why is it?
And she needs to do.
And he still doesn't get it. How clearly does it need to be laid out for you? Maybe you should have talked one more time about a video of things being sucked. That would have added to your commentary.
She doesn't pay rent. The reality is she doesn't pay rent. She's not doing her responsibilities, and she.
Oh shit! Well, she proves us wrong. Denim's proved us.
There we go. He did finally get there eventually. Just wanted to show what a waste of time it is watching that guy. Unless you like to get upset, which apparently I like to get upset at YouTube videos.
Up lies about, as he clearly states there.
The reality is she doesn't pay rent.
This was one of the things I actually asked Tectone about, and surprise, surprise, he refused to answer.
I knew you were lying.
And I wish she would understand. If she would just delete the post and apologize, all of this would go away and things would go back to normal. Will you tweet out the proof? I will at a certain point. I will at a certain point. I really, truly hope that you guys believe everything that is that I said. If you didn't, I'll provide proof later.
Pretty sure he's doing the same thing that Struthless did in his video where he begged for money. He said at some point in time, later down the road, he will explain how he got tricked into signing such a bad contract that made him cry and beg for money. I am holding him to that. I better see that video from him, or I'm banning him off of YouTube.
Right, so obviously without proof, nobody knows what actually happened. But it's like, dude, this guy's only receipt was him being totally deceptive and just straight up lying, caught in 4K. And here's the thing, it's not even on him to provide proof, but he said he had it and will provide it, and just never does, as things get
Yeah, that's the thing that's crazy, is Pinkchyu doesn't really provide any proof that Tectone did what she said he did. But then his response is so terrible that it makes me think, okay, well, there must be something to what Pinkchyu says, because how would your response possibly be that bad if there's nothing to what she's saying? Your one piece of response, supposedly if you're 5% of your power level, just a complete and utter provable lie. How is your response possibly that bad?
increasingly worse. How does this make any sense? How am I not supposed to see this as incredibly suspicious? Literally, him never talking about the allegations would have been better. Worst response ever.
LSF is a miserable place. And I know that now that I have shown proof with receipts that I am cleared of all wrongdoing.
In January of 2025,
Guys, I just want to show you some proof that I'm innocent. Okay, so now that I've completely vindicated myself, proven innocence beyond a doubt, isn't that nice? Now we can relax. The way this guy ups himself over and over again is so obnoxious.
Cleared of all wrongdoing.
In January of 2025, Pink would state that Freem never actually had revenge porn her. She was lied to and used as a pawn to defame someone that didn't deserve the hate.
Let's see what exactly she's saying here.
Doing.
In January,
I want to clear a few things for the new year, and one is regarding Freem. I know last year we had a lot of drama and things turned legal. Throughout this legal process, I was given proof that a lot of the information I made public was false and lies told to scare me.
2025, Pink would state that Freem.
I want to clear some of those things up so the misinformation is hopefully done with. No cheating occurred for either party. I was given flight information and proof, and I showed DMs and proof as well.
Never actually had revenge for her. She was
No illegal recording had occurred, and things were taken way out of context to make me afraid. I was used as a pawn to defame someone that didn't deserve the hate. There were countless lies and rumors thrown around with the intent to pit us against each other.
lied to and used as a pawn to defame someone that didn't deserve.
At the time, I was genuinely afraid I was pressured to defend myself. I'm happy to say there is no lawsuit. We have cleared up a lot of what happened and got to the truth of it all.
The hate that her and Freeman cleared up what really happened, and
I know me saying this might confuse some people, but I can admit when I was wrong about something and was lied to about what happened. If you knew the full story, you'd understand, but that's not mine to tell. Okay, this is crazy because she's saying Tectone lied to her. She must have told a million lies to Tectone that were way, way worse. That doesn't really make sense. How could Tectone just do a bad thing to somebody without it being completely beyond justified? That's puzzling.
that any lawsuit/charges wouldn't be pursued, and that most.
There are a lot of screenshots of conversations flying around, but a lot of those are out of context and misrepresented. Again, this was all cleared up legally, and so much was distorted to try and defame her.
What was put out was distorted in order to.
I'm glad I got the truth now, and she does too. Hopefully we can all move on from this and stop spreading hate.
Defame Tectone's ex-wife, Freem.
I gotta hear what Shamoo was actually saying.
Of all wrongdoing.
In January of 2025, Pink would state that Freem never actually had revenge for her, that she was lied to and used as a pawn to defame someone that didn't deserve the hate, that her and Freem had cleared up what really happened, and that any lawsuit/charges wouldn't be pursued, and that most of what was put out was distorted in order to defame Tectone's ex-wife, Freem. On January 15th, Tectone made an announcement basically saying, "Hey guys, I know I said I was going to sue Pink, but unfortunately, she knows all the loopholes in defamation cases."
Oh, wow. Yeah, that makes sense. Pinkchyu is just this legal mastermind. Of course, of course. Because what does she do? Stream and OnlyFans? That adds up. That she would be a legal mastermind. I hate that I even have to make this post, but I can't stay silent anymore. For nearly half a year, Pink has been sub-tweeting about me, spreading accusations that are completely untrue. I tried to handle this via the legal system, but Pink knows the loopholes in defamation cases. She avoids using my name so she can claim plausible deniability. Her strategy has been to post vague comments about me, hoping others would connect the dots and stir things up, all to damage my reputation without taking any responsibility. Let me be clear, false accusations of grape or SA are not just harmful, they're reprehensible. These are serious matters, and making false claims is beyond unforgivable. It's actually reminding me of Destiny again here. Because lately, Destiny has been spurging out and crying about how, oh, Pixie and her legal team, they're trying to have all of these witnesses come in and give statements and say these bad things that I've done, but they don't want to give any names or anything like that. It's like, no, Destiny, they don't want to make the names public, but you and your legal team would get to see them. But he's claiming, oh, they just want to bring all these people in, see if they can make my reputation look bad. Doesn't matter if it actually gets accepted into the evidence for the court case. Just people will hear all these bad things about me. Or maybe people have legitimate grievances with you and they want to come forward with that. No. It's all a conspiracy.
Hey guys, I know I said I was going to sue Pink, but unfortunately, she knows all the loopholes in defamation cases. Yes, the young OnlyFans girl who sounds like this.
Look, okay, I'm a girl. I don't want to look bad. What if my coochie comes out?
Here's a crazy.
Thank you. Now my sisters are now gamer nerds and weebs, and I have infected them.
Is a defamation savant, totally ruining your life. This makes total sense. Don't question it. But from the website Law Shelf, it specifically states that, quote, for a statement to be considered defamation, it must be about the plaintiff. Even if the statement does not mention him or her by name, it can be actionable on grounds of defamation if a reasonable person would understand the communication as referring to the plaintiff. And seeing as every single person on the internet that knows about this understands that it's being communicated by you, it looks like you're full of shit yet again.
Been lying to me. I'm gonna charge you with perjury.
He also states once again in the face of abuse allegations that it's actually him that was assaulted, and that Pink is actually inhumanely weaponizing assault against the real victim, Tectone.
My hesitation around sex. From the start, I was open with you about my past trauma. I told you I'd been sexually assaulted and raped, which made it difficult for me to engage fully. For you to weaponize false essay claims against someone with this history is inhumane. Oh, what do you know? Victim techie.
That Pink is actually inhumanely weaponizing assault against the real victim, Tectone. Again, it's just a terrible response regardless of its validity when facing these accusations. He also brings up the NDA, but sort of lies.
Yeah, that's the thing. The way he weaponizes this stuff over and over and over again for his victimhood status, it makes it hard to care or feel bad for him. It's like, yeah, I got to be honest, man, this has become such a pattern of you clearly being manipulative. I don't really know to believe you. I'm assuming you're making way more of this than it really is, and super hard to feel bad for you when every time you open your mouth, you're lying.
About ever putting anyone under one for allegations they were going to make. Well, we know now for a fact Freem was going to come out with allegations against Tectone, and shortly after that, a settlement, payout, or something happened, and both parties were put under NDA. 2 weeks later, on January 23rd, Pink would announce that she had contacted the police and reported Tectone. A couple of months after the Pink allegations became public, Tectone got a literal Berserk tattoo to represent his struggle. If you don't know about Berserk, essentially the main characters get what is called a brand of sacrifice, where after receiving it, they are doomed for eternity to be pursued and sacrificed by demons. This guy gets accused of abuse and is acting like he is Guts from Berserk, literally branding himself to represent his struggle. It's unbelievable. He's like Guts, guys, but instead of fighting demons, he women. Not only this,
that is really corny. I mean, getting any sort of tattoo from a cartoon, that's pretty iffy right there. All right. It's not on the level of Ethan or iDubbbz's tattoos, but pretty bad move either way. And yeah, he's basically getting the tattoo of, I'm a victim. I was cursed by the gods. Wow. Of course, that's the tattoo he goes with. So embarrassing.
it's unbelievable. He's like Guts, guys, but instead of fighting demons, he women. Not only this, but what do you think Berserk is famously controversial for? You guessed it, gratuitous amounts of SA. I'm not kidding, this guy got the anime tattoo after getting accused of it. After he cut off communication with me, for the next few days, he started emo posting stuff like this as well, which is hilarious.
They will fall as I continue to rise, every day better than the last. What an absolute cornball.
With me for the next few days, he started emo posting stuff like this as well, which is hilarious. He's Guts, for real, for real. Since you're being sacrificed, I guess I'll be Boyd.
That everything lies within the currents of causality.
And that should bring us to the present. And unless you've been living under a rock for the past 6 months, you've probably seen an entire legion of content creators crying about this guy.
You know that Hassan Piker?
Yes, somehow, the man with the small head who kicks a bag worse than any mid-40s woman doing jazzercise has become the face of radical politics and terrorism on the internet. So much so that the feds are now pulling him into back rooms to talk to him about Twitch bans.
For those of you who don't know, I was detained by Customs and Border Patrol. I was tactically ascertained. They're watching. Oh, the feds are watching. They're always watching. Feds are always like this. Okay, now we know for real.
People are so obsessed with taking this guy down, they've actually weaponized the ADL to go after him.
But all of us need to call it out. I'm thinking about the New York Times doing a gauzy profile a few weeks ago of this gamer, Hassan Piker. Like, extremists should not be empowered. People who spout prejudice should not be platformed.
Gone are the days of Sam Hyde putting on an Irish accent, talking about hunting him down in his house in California. We've now entered a period where every single day is filled with people clutching pearls and bitching about how the small head man needs to be banned off of Twitch's platform because he's a dangerous man. The guy's been a leftist extremist.
What are you talking about, Shamoo? That's literally the most important discussion to have every single day. We need to talk every single day about Hassan bad and how Ethan is correct in winning. Every single day, we need to do that.
That needs to be banned off of Twitch's platform because he's a dangerous man. The guy's been a leftist extremist since working at the Young Turks. This isn't really a new development. But if I have to be subject to everyone crying about this You have to listen to me cry about how repetitive it is. Alleged Weinstein ogre Tectone decided he wanted to get in on the Hassan bad craze by announcing he was leaving Twitch. I am genuinely considering full swapping to YouTube if this terrorist propaganda isn't punished harshly and immediately on Twitch. My fathers, my brothers, and our soldiers did not bleed, sacrifice, and die for this to be allowed and promoted on Twitch. This needs to be changed. Immediately.
I did not watch my buddies die face down in the muck.
Hassan would respond, basically calling Tectone a but what happens next elevates this story to an all-timer.
Apparently, Tectone, as soon as he came after me and talked about his father's like military record or whatever, the internet found out that dad did the same that he did.
And victims like Heath Phillips. When he told his commander, his report was ignored. The Department of Defense says 19,000 incidents of assault occurred in 2010 alone. Nearly 90% went unreported.
Biggest photo you see is of Colonel Michael Robertson. He was convicted of 14 accounts of assault.
Turns out Apple doesn't fall far from the tree, folks.
Hey, you know they got your mans. They got your mans on assault charges. Yeah, you be hanging with. The you be hanging with. And it was your mans. He was your boy. You grew up with him.
After being embroiled in abuse and allegations for months, Tectone's own father turned out to be possibly the most infamous sex pest in U.S. military history. His father was such a that they literally had televised C-SPAN Congress hearings in an attempt to stop future assaults by using him as the example.
I rise again. One of the most lopsided victories in all of Twitch. Why didn't you just pipe down about it, Tectone, right? Well, he claims that he never looked into any of this and didn't know the extent of it. But really, just keep your mouth shut on this when you got this going on in the background. It's so dumb. And then he cries about it. Then he literally cries about it. Like, hey, you know what, man? If you can't take the heat, stay out of the kitchen.
In an attempt to stop future assaults by using him as the example.
I rise again today to draw attention to the epidemic in our military of assault. 19,000 women and men each year are or assaulted in the military. This travesty is not being addressed, and I will continue to speak out on this floor until it does. Today, I would like to tell the story of one of the 8%.
I mean, imagine that email created because of your dad. Just embarrassing. And he paraded this guy around, brought him on other shows, told Emaru, hey, my guy, my dad, that's the reason for this email being created. He thinks you're pretty hot. What do you think about that? I think that's beyond weird that you would say that, Tectone. That's what I think.
That were prosecuted. The story of Colonel Michael Robertson, who commanded Fort Bliss's 31st Combat Support Hospital at Camp Dwyer, a military base and airfield in the Helmand River Valley in Afghanistan. Last week, Colonel Robertson was convicted by a military judge of 14 charges, including having on his government computer, harassing 3 women and assaulting 5 women. 8 women that served under his command testified at great cost to their careers and their privacy. Colonel Robertson routinely touched them without permission on their breasts, thighs, and buttocks, and encouraged them to look at the computer. Some testified the harassment occurred daily. Despite repeated warnings, Colonel Robertson also emailed friends and female subordinates. What makes the defense's answer to all these actions? That all of these jokes and the touching were attempts to boost morale. Colonel Robertson, the majority of assailants are older and of higher rank than their victims. They abuse not only their authority, but also the trust of those they are responsible for protecting. Survivors can email me at stopmilitary@mail.house.gov if they would like to speak out.
This was all part of the creation of the Sexual Assault Training Oversight and Prevention Act, which was created because of Tectone's father. You may be thinking, wow, can't get any more absurd than this, right? Well, you would be wrong, as Tectone regularly would have his father on live streams and podcasts. And what do you think that typically looked like?
Obviously, you're not aware of my first podcast with Techie.
Oh, the one where I showed you.
What do you think about that? Do it again.
Daddy issues?
They all have daddy issues. Well, she has a facial expression as if to say, hey, sailor. I like the little short dress. She looks like she works out.
One of the first things Tectone says to me is like, sup, dude? By the way, my 17-year-old father thinks you're hot. And I was like, uh-oh.
First thing he did was he put me.
Even if given him the benefit of the doubt and he really didn't know this stuff about his dad at the time. So bizarre. In what other job would you say that to a coworker? It's just so weird.
Me into some kind of headset and costume and put me in this AI room.
VR chat.
Am I moving? Oh my God.
Yeah, so that's chill. And that's
Yeah, but how? Oh Lord, have mercy. And so he's got me in that headset, and I'm in there, and
I'm holding them on.
It's getting bad. And,
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's as dressed up as a girl.
I gotcha.
Right, because that's the thing.
Yeah, or whether it's you dressed up as a girl.
Probably mostly
Yeah.
Asmund.
Yeah.
We're gonna give him a heart attack, I swear to God.
A convicted pervert father and son bonding, where you feel up anime waifus in VR that may or may not be men, is insane, even by my standards.
And you can, the sensors made it feel like I was being touched.
Damn.
Yeah. And it felt like this one character was unzipping my pants. Freckles, the hair
And I want you to bark for me.
Woof. Wait a minute, I got another dog. I got another. Want to hear my other dog? Oh, that's my other dog. Woof, woof. Oh. How we doing? She looks real submissive and looks like, in the words of Halsey, I can take a pounding.
What do you think?
6 years old, maybe?
Yeah.
That's what she looks like.
Do you know what a lolly is?
Looks like a 3-year-old.
What a furry is?
No.
There are people who dress up in like dog suits. But you know what pegging is.
I can tell you a great pegging story.
One of them.
8 stepmoms? Hold up. What?
7 stepmoms? How many have I had?
I'm a bad man, but okay? It's like saying you're going to not have the money shot. There ain't a money shot. You know, people ask me about the military. What did you like? Well, I love the camaraderie.
Stop military.
Incredibly, Tectone brought his father into the online arena.
I mean, you would think that guy is like Gen Z, the way he has such a porn-sick mind. He talks like he's jacking it every single day and he's addicted to it. Like, why? Why is that such a common conversation topic? Especially on a public live stream. Very strange.
And even though he had sexual charges, thought it would be wise to have him goon out to lolly and VR gotcha game degeneracy. The reaction to Hassan striking back at Tectone was met with...
Oh, you know, this is another example of Tectone being a victim, so I'll make a point to read it. Bro's going after my 75-year-old cancer-ridden dad because of an alleged SH claim from 17 years ago. No, not alleged. Convicted. Convicted is the word you're looking for. When I was 15 years old, to try to paint me as a rapist. This guy is psychotic. He must be upset because his best friend's on trial right now.
Out to lolly and VR gotcha game degeneracy. The reaction to Hassan striking back at Tectone was met with many people bemoaning Hassan for attacking family or going low. However, Tectone brought him onto his own platform. He can be talked about, and if you think for a minute I shouldn't talk about him being an infamous convicted military pest, you can go yourself. I don't care. The following is taken from a blog that sources news publications that were done at the time, dated November 13th, 2011. Quote, after he was found guilty, the colonel walked over to one of the victims and said, I'm sorry. She started to sob and walked away, appearing to make sure not to let him touch her. Later, before he was sentenced, the colonel looked at the women who accused him from the stand and said, I would like to apologize for any and all of the actions that led to these proceedings being necessary. It was never my intent to harm or offend any of the women, and I will take the burden to my grave.
It wasn't my intent to do any of that to you. I just never considered you as a full human, worthy of respect, or anything like that. Wow, that means so a lot that you didn't intend any harm or offense. You just didn't bother to think or care about another human at all.
The colonel's mental health doctor at Fort Bliss testified that he was as a young child by a male caretaker and currently suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder and depression. There is some cosmic irony that both Tectone and his father's response to allegations in court proceedings for sexual impropriety is in both cases to state that they were both victims of abuse. In Tectone's case, to use as a shield as to why he couldn't possibly have done anything wrong, and in his father's case, as an attempt to explain his behavior.
And then Hassan starts going after my father. And I get very confused by this. Because me and my father have had a pretty bad past. I'm pretty open about this. My father's gone to prison. I'm very open about this.
Here's Tectone 2 weeks prior to this.
Very open about it.
This, where he acts like he has no idea what anyone's talking about when his father's convictions are brought up.
Your father went to jail for the same Oh, really? Wait, tell me more, man. Tell me more. What else? Who'd my dad Who? 5 women in the military accuse your father of Really? That's crazy. You think so? What else? That's why he went to jail discussing vote. Really, man? That's interesting. How do you know so much? How are you so all-knowing? My father's
Google is talking about in the House of Representatives or the Senate, whichever one that was. You know, it was like a large news story, something like that. But somehow, Tectone, the guy who grew up with this guy, and had just as much access to all this information, and also supposedly had a gun put to his head by this guy, never able to figure it out.
Discussing vote. Really, man? That's interesting. How do you know so much? How are you so all-knowing? My father's gone to prison. I'm very open about this.
You are a bald-faced liar.
If anybody's surprised, yeah, my dad's gone to prison before. Me and my father have had a pretty interesting past.
Instead of addressing the news surrounding his father, who he brought on streams, and just take the L, Tectone decides to pull on the heartstrings of his viewers and talk about all of his childhood trauma. There's really no need to, and it comes off as manipulative, while under a microscope of controversy.
When I was a young boy, I came from a very, very, very poor family. I did. My mother never really treated me well, and I was named after my father's.
But seriously, these chatters drive me absolutely insane. The way they just eat this up. They're all saying, sue him, sue him, sue him.
Microscope of controversy.
It's just anything he says, they'll eat it up. Let's see.
I was a young boy. I
get any of them here.
Came from a very, very.
That would be an actionable claim, sir.
Very, very poor family.
That's suable.
I did.
The face of Twitch and the left, typical emotional rhetoric. Twitch need to permaban Hassan. How Hassan isn't permabanned crazy. Just, really, how many times in a row can this guy do the same exact act? Oh, people have criticism for me? Well, actually, I'm the most wretched victim in the world. I'll have you know. And then I'll go, oh my goodness, Techie, we stand with you. That's so messed up. Hassan bad. Every single time. Just the brain, let's eat it up.
My mother never really treated me well. And I was named after my father's best friend because I was supposed to die at birth.
Are you serious right now, bro?
I lived with my mother until about 3rd grade. And you know, something very bad happens to me. I don't feel like talking about it. Due to that thing happening to me, lawyers get involved, the court gets involved. When I moved in with my dad, it was a very like hands-off relationship with me and my dad. He bought me and my brothers a separate apartment to live, while him and my stepmom lived in a separate apartment.
And right away, Tectone is provably misrepresenting the truth yet again.
Tectone said that whenever he was in high school, you had a separate apartment for them to be at, so you could have privacy with your own apartment.
Fourth grade.
All right, that's not untrue, but that is a misrepresentation of the truth. So he and his brothers went into a 2-bedroom that was down the hall until 4 months later when we moved to a house.
Don't lie right now.
Wow, that's so crazy. You mean to tell me Tectone misrepresented the situation to make himself a victim? That's unbelievable.
Lie!
And me and my father never really interacted much. And I was just considered the failure of the family. I was. on by pretty much everybody, including my dad, I'm not gonna lie. And I'll be real, I was never really treated too good.
Yes, after bringing his father on podcasts and streams, now that the internet has found out his history, he is going to completely throw him under the bus for hundreds of thousands of viewers.
Father becomes incredibly violent. I hear that my father has been accused of a crime, even though my father never treated.
And just look at this. The egg with a heart. Aw, techie. People giving hugs or something like that. Video game, health hearts. Some other heart. The techie avatar holding hearts. They just slurp it up. Anything it says. It does not matter how many times he does the same obviously manipulative act in front of them. Oh yes, Tectone, yes. You're such a victim. We love you. Please, tell me how you're a victim more. I'll never stop believing it, no matter what.
Hear that my father has been accused of a crime, even though my father never treated me too well. Nobody.
Look, it just hearts. The whole chat. Eggy love. Eggy love. That's the one break from the hearts.
Nobody ever really wants to believe that about their dad. And I'm just going to be real.
It's just the whole way through. The whole way through, it's just hearts. They hold him to absolutely no standard.
I hear that my father has been accused of a crime, even though my father never treated me too well. Nobody ever really wants to believe that about their dad. And I'm just going to be real. Like when you talk to my dad, he be grabbing you. I'm not gonna lie. And he doesn't do that anymore because I told him it's weird as shit. But he would like grab your shoulder, he would grab your arm. And he said that's what he got convicted for. And obviously he took some of the aggression out on me. I got back from soccer practice, which I joined because I wanted to make my dad proud. And I put a orange soda can on top of my trash can. My father threw me to the ground and put a gun against my head. And he said, give me a good reason not to shoot you.
So you felt comfortable bringing your father around all of these public people several times, and now that he has some hate online, you're going to out him as this abusive monster? It's strictly, in my opinion, to garner sympathy from his audience, and just totally using his father to do so.
Now, obviously, this is...
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's all it is. There was no good reason for him to bring up all these childhood stories, other than to garner sympathy. And then the way he pairs it with Hassan bad, it's clearly just a ploy, an act.
Sympathy from his audience and just totally using his father to do so.
Now, obviously, this isn't really anything that I just really want to talk about on stream. However, a really great Twitch streamer.
You know that Hassan Piker?
Is just making me relive my childhood trauma because of all this. I hate.
Nope. Hassan is not doing that at all. You know what you could have done? Could have come on stream and said, hey, I'm a total idiot. And even though supposedly my dad abused me my entire childhood and was terrible to me and pulled a gun on me, and I knew that he went to jail for months and had to pay a fine, I never looked into it. And people for months on my stream were telling me how bad this guy was. I had no idea what a bad guy he was. Now I'm going to throw him under the bus here and to talk about how terrible he was to me as a child and cry and be a wretched, pathetic worm. I truly don't understand how this plays well to anybody. It's so transparent.
It's just making me relive my childhood trauma because of all this.
Oh, and as I said, he could have just said, didn't know this about my dad, even though lots of reasons that I should have known this. Obviously, never going to have him on stream again. Really bad that I brought him on to streams with other people and paraded him around. But you know what? Hassan saying like father, like son, that's ridiculous, all right? I push back against that, but shouldn't have had my dad on here. And he's definitely a bad guy, right? Why wouldn't that have worked? Oh, because he wouldn't have gotten as much sympathy then.
I hated my father because he never told me that he was proud of me.
You serious?
He always made me feel like a failure, and to be honest, he was quite abusive. Looking into what I heard that he was convicted of, which I never did.
It is quite literally the first and third results on Google when Googling your father's name, Tectone. The third in all caps, assault in the military.
I guess 15 years after the fact is quite painful. It is.
Aw, poor Techie. Why doesn't every single person in the chat hit him with some hearts?
Anyways, fast forward a little bit. After I was homeless for a tad, I would DM them about how sometimes I had no money to where I couldn't even afford to eat. And it got met with laughter. Due to this all being resurfaced by Hassan, due to what my father was convicted for, which really hurts to say.
I mean, I'm not sure why you've known about it for the last 15 years.
It's kind of hard to think of your family.
I mean, seriously. The whimpering. The full-on whimpering. And people bought that. They're like, oh my goodness, Techie's having a real moment on stream. Where, like an anime character, he's whimpering into the microphone.
As a monster, but I didn't sleep much last night. I honestly didn't want to believe it last night.
Yeah, sure, it's not like people have been posting at you that your dad went to jail for being a pest for the last 5 months.
And I don't really know what to think. But I think the fact that Hassan wants to imply that...
I have never been so pissed off by heart emojis. It is just driving me absolutely nuts, the way there is an endless stream of hearts. Somebody give this man a hug. Eggy, woo, come and give Techie comfort. Shameful, shameful, all of these people in the chat. It's not much, but the eggs love you. You got people that care about you. Take time and let yourself feel and heal. Well, you had 15 years. I feel for you, man. For whatever it's worth, I send whatever energies you hold close. There's just not a single person. Not a single person. It's like, how did you not find out about it? How is this news to you? Why are you bringing up what a pathetic, embarrassing childhood you had? No, just endless streams of hearts and support.
But I think the fact that Hassan wants to imply that I'm a monster?
You know that, Hassan Piker?
Based off of who my father is disgusting.
Like, this man has, I guess, epigenetic memories of... It's just like, it's a familial obligation over here.
And to imply that I'm a...
Yeah, whatever. He made a joke at your expense. Because you've been involved in SA allegations the past year, and then the internet found out that your dad was one of the most infamous pests in U.S. military history. I get it. I made a whole...
Yeah, seriously. It's like, you want to say all this stuff about Hassan. Then Hassan says one thing about Tectone, and Tectone breaks down crying on stream. Like, how pathetic. Seriously. He thought that he could fight, but he punches somebody one time. Then Hassan punches him back, completely lays him out, and he's laying in the dirt crying. And we're supposed to feel bad. You punched Hassan first. Right? You said you were down for this. You were down to tumble. And then as soon as you get back the energy you've been putting out, fall on the ground crying, roll around in the dirt, whimpering.
Year, and then the internet found out that your dad was one of the most infamous pests in U.S. military history. I get it. I made a whole documentary about it. It's like an absurd cosmic joke at your expense.
And to imply that I'm a...
Is he whimpering? The man is literally whimpering directly into the microphone over a joke Hassan, the face of terrorism in 2025, made. This is 100% performative. You cannot convince me otherwise. You could pause and play a song to center yourself, but instead, you're staying on stream and whimpering directly into a microphone.
After I myself...
Really, I 100% agree with Shamoo's take there. How do you think that's genuine? How can you possibly think that's genuine? And even if it is, like he said, put the music on. Stop being so manipulative emotionally. Right? Just come on and give your honest take about it. Just say, didn't know this stuff about my dad. Not going to be having him on stream. Definitely shouldn't have brought him onto podcasts and stuff. But Hassan, you saying like father, like son, that's ridiculous. That's not evidence of anything. That could have been the whole response. But instead we get 20 minutes of him crying and then some of the most performative whimpering of all time directly into the mic.
Have been twice based on what my
Oh, and what do you know? More victimization.
I myself have been twice based on what my father has done.
Every single time. Oh, you're gonna accuse me of doing essay like my father? Well, I'll have you know, as a child, I was essayed multiple times. Every single time. Oh, you have a criticism of me? Whatever that criticism is, it's been done to me 10 times worse.
It's just a little bit crazy, isn't it?
He is actually trying to use SA as a shield against Hassan Piker making jokes about his dad being a convicted pest. It's the BPD woman meme to say you were SA'd in order to be deemed beyond reproach or criticism. Funnily enough, he did the same thing with Pink when she made allegations against him. Maybe you're thinking I'm jumping to conclusions and being too harsh. Well, just a few minutes later, after that great performance to garner sympathy from his audience, he switches on a dime like nothing ever happened. You be the judge.
But, yeah.
Blatant, complete disrespect for his audience. Let me just chew directly into your ears, guys.
But, yeah. I'm gonna just keep farming the out of them. To be honest. Yeah, I don't give a
I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I know. I know I was literally just broke down crying, but I don't even care, bro. It's all memes and games to me. All right? My subscriber count keeps going up. They can say whatever they want about me. No skin off my back. Minutes after breaking down crying so much that he blew his nose into a t-shirt. Yeah, real genuine.
Yeah, I don't give a
And I truly, I do not understand how you can watch somebody who chews into the mic like this. Do you not feel disrespected? It instantly becomes disrespectful to me. That guy, Papa Gut, one of the first times I ever watched his videos, I think he does it all the time, just burps straight into the mic like Review Tech USA. That's the level that you're at. You're Review Tech USA to me. If you chew your food like this into the mic or burp into the mic. It's disgusting, and you clearly have no respect for the viewers.
Yeah, straight up. I'm good. Yeah, it is what it is. There's not really anything he can say to deter me whatsoever, to be completely honest. Yeah, I think
there's nothing he could say to deter you, really. Okay, so what were we just literally crying about?
Thing he can say.
Also,
I'm
we got
good.
people in the chat. Now they're dropping W's. Let's see if we can catch some of these.
Yeah, it is what it is.
W Techie. This was a W move that he broke down and cried about how pathetic he was as a child. Being human isn't being a pussy at Tectone. Oh. Words of affirmation. That's so nice of you.
There's not really anything.
Oh, there we go. Another W. Blaming the child for the parents' mistakes is just so V-worded.
Thing he can say.
W. Just slurp it up. Tectone can puke whatever victimization nonsense onto the ground that he wants, and all the fans will just slurp it up off the ground.
To deter me whatsoever, to be completely honest. Yeah, I think the guy's an absolute piece of shit. Do I think he's in the wrong for what he said about my dad? No, not really. I mean, at the end of the day, those are public court documents. But try to tie me to that because of who my dad is, bro, you're retarded. You're just dumb. You know what I mean? Like, this whole apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Go yourself, dude. We all know the great guy your dad was. Thankfully.
There you go. That could have been his response. That right there could have just been his response. There was absolutely no need to cry and whimper on stream.
We have a little bit of class to actually not talk about that. What a joke. Anyways, we're going to be having a podcast with Dan Saltman later, which I bet is going to be
So great. We have a great podcast with Dan Saltman and Nux Taku. That will be happening in 53 minutes. Hassan's favorite streamers.
Tectone's ex-girlfriend, Pink, would...
And I agree with Shamoo. He just completely flips there. I was supposed to believe that those were genuine tears, genuine whimpering. When, as soon as he blows his nose, 2 minutes later, he's talking about Hassan bad. And we're going to interview Destiny's friend, Dan Saltman. Oh, wow. Yeah, I totally believe that was a legitimate breakdown you had there.
Would also say on Twitter that wasn't going to say anything, but that guy would not stop talking about how he wanted to have relations with a podcast member. Made jokes about women being in Vietnam and made me extremely uncomfortable. I tried to say something and was told it wasn't a big deal. He would say the women who accused him of SA in the military were liars, and I still can't believe he was allowed around other female content creators, including me. The truth always comes to light, and I hope those women know they did the right thing.
Your dad's a yeah.
Tectone's ex Pink posted proof in March she went to police, and on May 9th, after returning from traveling abroad, posted an email setting up.
What she's saying here. Yes, I went to the police. These things take time and it's a lot of intense interviews. And yes, I have medical proof. And that was all given to them as well. I'm not going into detail, but none of this was easy. The amount of hate I've gotten is exactly why people stay quiet.
Proof in March, she went to police, and on May 9th.
I'm not a liar. God forbid a victim stand up for herself and say enough. I cannot share anything else because I don't want to jeopardize the investigation. This is the community I've been dealing with for my safety. I'm going to move on and let the legal system handle it. Just know I tried. Thank you for those who believe and support me. And then this looks like this is her setting up an interview with the police.
9th, after returning from traveling abroad, posted an email setting up further investigative meetings with the police. Tectone's community, who are obviously biased for their streamer, regularly accuse Pink of faking these screenshots. But don't take her word or mine that there is police matters at hand. Take Tectone's word.
Guys, I'll be real. I went to the police yesterday. Saying, hey, let's hurry this up.
I had no idea you could tell the police, let's hurry this up when they're investigating you. I'm learning so much, guys. This is awesome.
Like legit. I got my lawyers like, hey, let's hurry this the up, right? Because like, you know, they're going to investigate me. They're going to investigate me 100%. They're going to investigate me. They're going to investigate me 100%. I said, bro, just talk to me. Let's get this go. I've been waiting 7 months for these people just to reach out to me. And it's like, bro, can we just go ahead and wrap this up? Like, if anybody's...
Does he think that's supposed to play well? I mean, could you think of something more suspicious than you have a suspect for a crime and the suspect comes in and says, guys, what are we doing here? All this back and forth, all this looking for evidence, all of these interviewing witnesses. Let's just wrap it up, call it a day, get out of here, go home, relax. I would think, oh, okay, we must have the right guy then. He must have done it.
Work with the police, it is so slow. It's unbelievable. And then all you ever get told is, I recommend you don't say anything. I recommend you don't say anything. I recommend you not saying anything. Let's handle this in court. Let's handle this in court. Let's handle this in court. It's like, brother, I don't want to go to court. I don't want to deal with it. I just want to live my life.
That's quite a change from his original threats to sue Pink for defamation, isn't it?
You no longer have 2 weeks. You have 24 hours.
I mentioned this earlier, but I did speak with Tectone. He said he would answer whatever I wanted. However, once he noticed the questions, he hid behind the NDA with Freem, even though half of the questions had nothing to do with her. I asked him about the allegations, and as stated earlier, he just straight up lied to me about that. I asked if he ever posted any other receipts as he said he would, if there was ever a period of time where Pink wasn't paying rent, and why he wasn't pursuing a defamation case after he said he would. He responded with, I think the problem with a lot of these questions is that with an ongoing lawsuit happening, I think you know I can't talk about a lot of this. Out of curiosity, to not fuel any fire, wouldn't it just be better to wait to make this video until the result of the investigation, or why does it need to be made now? The guy is
so transparent. Oh, you know, why don't you just not make the video, Shamoo? You're asking a lot of questions that I can't answer. You should probably just wait till this is all concluded to do the video. Or, and this is just a suggestion, you could never do the video about me. All right? Asking a lot of questions, and seems like you've really done your research, very thorough. But why not just throw all that away? Or you can make a video about how I'm awesome. You know, just a suggestion.
better to wait to make this video until the result of the investigation, or why does it need to be made now? The guy is low-key asking me not to make this video in an attempt to cover this up. That's how I take it after he answers none of my questions. I asked which ongoing lawsuit, to which I received no answer, and asked again the next day if he was referring to the NDA with Premire, and again received no answer. The thing is, none of those questions I asked had anything to do with his NDA with Premire. They were all concerning Pink. In conclusion, I would say, in the public discourse, we judge these controversies that aren't definitively proven on the character of the parties involved. We know Premire was going to come out with accusations now 100% based on court documents obtained, and that Tectone has consistently lied about this for years. When Pink and Tectone got word of these allegations, they went absolutely nuclear.
She was going to do something much worse, so bad it would have ruined all of our lives.
They defamed Premire with cheating allegations to explain Tectone's behavior, which we now know is false with receipts. They also knowingly or unknowingly filed a false police report against her for revenge. Pink sues Premire, which from what we have available is filled with Tectone's stories and interactions with Premire, which I conclude is him participating and feeding info for Pink's lawsuit. He denies encouraging Pink, but we have proof of him participating. Pink gets cheated on. Tectone lies about the breakup date to avoid responsibility, and receipts are posted proving him wrong and showing Pink saying she was scared of him. Pink accuses Tectone of abuse. Her story hasn't wavered, and currently there is an ongoing police investigation according to both Pink and Tectone. Tectone says he can prove his innocence with receipts, but he never provides any, besides one on Pink paying rent, which he later gets caught lying about.
And honestly, it's really annoying because the reality is she doesn't pay rent.
Tectone threatens to sue Pink for defamation and saber rattles, but when she doesn't retract, he claims Pink knows every legal loophole, but we now know just because he isn't named doesn't mean he can't pursue, and still to this day he has yet to file a defamation case against Pink. I, while making a video on Tectone, reached out, to which he responded saying he will answer any of my questions, and then refuses to, when in my opinion he realizes how in-depth I've looked into this. I consider Tectone a liar and a manipulator of his audience, spinning stories to attempt to escape the smallest of controversies such as cheating, to the more extreme lying in the case of his response to allegations against Pink.
Yeah, that's the thing that drives me absolutely insane. It's no matter what the criticism or the controversy is. Lies, victimization, deflection. Every single time. It's maddening.
How he spun the rent situation. I began making this video over the absurdity of his father's infamous rape, coupled with his own allegations, and came away with revelations of his ex-wife alleging abuse that led to false police reports, lies, and lawsuits in response to this abuse potentially becoming public. This, coupled with the ex-girlfriend's abuse allegations, are a catastrophic combination for Tectone. It is the consistent lying and content of character of the parties involved which should lead people to look at the story again with all the events and timeline in front of you to consider. That being said, cheers everyone, and thanks for watching.
Thanks, Shamoo. Very nice to have that all laid out like that. Before I end the video here, just want to take a note. Video premiered June 1st, 2025. Go to Tectone's Twitter here on June 1st, 2025, 5:24 p.m. Just a few minutes after that video finishes up. R.I.P. Christy, you were like a mother to me and the kindest person I've ever met. I will miss you forever, and I love you. Okay. Well, I mean, if she just died, I suppose that makes sense. That's pretty sad. Freddy Woodz, though, says, liar, caught in the act. Tectone caught lying about his friend's mom's passing. She passed over a week ago, and decides to bring her up 10 minutes after the premiere of the expose on him finished. Tectone is engaging in the exact behavior he was called out for. Here you see Edric, who is the Tectone's friend and the actual child of Christy. In loving memory of my mom, Christy, on Thursday night at 9:06 p.m., I lost one of the most important people in my life, my mom, Christy, and truthfully, I don't know how to process it. She was without question the kindest and most giving person I've ever known. Having her as my mother was one of the greatest gifts life ever gave to me. To know her was to be loved by her. She gave everything she had to help others, right down to her last penny if it meant someone see more. But you notice, it says, on Thursday night at 9:06, and he says that May 24th. So, let's see, May 24th, that probably would have been May 22nd that happened. But Tectone chooses to wait until minutes after Shamoo's video about him comes out to say anything. Very strange. And Tectone responds to this, I can't believe I have to say this, but seeing deranged idiots on this app thinking I'm making up my best friend's mom dying for sympathy? No, we don't think you're bringing up her dying. We're thinking the timing of you bringing it up is for sympathy and to distract. You people are insane. This isn't out of nowhere, and to dehumanize me to the point of going after my friend's dead mother is psychotic. Nobody's going after your friend's dead mother, right? The psychotic thing here would be you using your friend's dead mother for sympathy. That would be psychotic. She was a beautiful woman who'd take care of me at my lowest, and I loved her more than anything. Yes, I'm all right. I'm getting through this, but I will be flying out of town later this month for her service. Stream will not be canceled. Still going live tomorrow at 9 a.m. CST on all platforms. Like, guys, even though these maniacs are saying I'm using the death of Christy for sympathy, I'm still going to go live tomorrow. What? Yeah, why wouldn't you? Is people saying stuff about you on Twitter that traumatizing that you have to consider not going live tomorrow? You have to make it clear. Oh, no, guys, I know people said mean things about me on Twitter, but I'm still going to be able to pull myself together and go live tomorrow. Trying very hard to not crash out, but holy crap, some of y'all are pathetic. Okay, yes, it's the other people calling you out for obvious sympathy baiting. Those people aren't pathetic. You are pathetic, Tectone. You are the pathetic one. But no, according to Tectone, if the people who just point out what he's doing, those are the pathetic people. You could have just said something when the son or the daughter said that Christy had passed away. If you had said something then, you're like, oh, okay, fair enough. That sucks. But you waited. You waited until a video exposing you premieres and finishes up. And then, a week and some change after she's died, then you bring it up and say rest in peace to Christy. Appreciate all y'all good ones out there. That's enough Twitter for today. See y'all tomorrow. And then he puts this for context where he's like, see guys, this isn't coming out of nowhere. I tweeted about this before. Okay. Sure. But she didn't just die. It's very weird timing that you decided to bring this up right after the video. But anyway, one last thing before I end the video here. This is a community post that I saw on Tectone's channel that irritated me. It actually popped up in my algorithm and I saw it. And sometimes I wonder, why does YouTube show me this stuff? What? Well, because I engage with it. Not only do I click on it and go through the comments and get mad at the stupid people who are affirming Tectone, but then I go and I click on it again and I bring it up later to show people. So of course they're going to send me this stuff. Tectone says, I am very proud of how many controversial videos and topics I've been covering and how y'all have been responding to them with composure and intelligence. We are different. We will make change. So just completely glazing his audience. Like, oh, wow, guys. Most streamers, if they talked about controversial stuff like this, their audience would be losing their minds. They'd be all over the place, but not you guys. You guys are special. You have intelligence and composure. You're the good ones. And you know what? We're going to make a difference. No, Tectone, no. No streamer is out here making a difference. All right? I don't want to hear that from any of these people. And now, especially from you, Tectone, I don't ever want to hear any criticism of other people having parasocial fan bases, because you are going full hog trying to create that. You are telling your audience, you guys are different. You're more intelligent. You have more composure. You guys are going to make a difference. Really? No. You can kind of see, if he does stuff like this, why they just eat up everything he says and they don't pick up on the fact that, wow, every time this guy gets criticized, all of a sudden, he's got some story about how he's a victim. Doesn't even occur to them. Because he just tells them, you guys are really smart and you have a lot of composure and you're going to make a difference. Like, oh, yes, we are, Techie. You're such a good guy. We're such good viewers. Let's go save the world. I just cannot stand this guy.